Good evening, everybody. It's Monday. Good evening. While I'm getting a couple things together, because I was over in another creator's live before I came to this live, so I'm kind of behind. I can't help myself. Couldn't help myself. So how's everybody's week going? Good week starting out so far? Hopefully everybody's having a good week. I took some time off from doing things today and I went to the pool and I was loving it out there. I'm just gonna, hold on, I have to cough. I didn't want to cough in your little ears there. Hey, Sergeant George. It's been a while since we've seen you, I feel like. Judy said I'd be screaming my alibi from day one. Me too. I'd be throwing myself at the mercy of the court, but that's just me. What'd you eat a spoonful of? I'm like, what are you eating, Nancy? Summer told on me. I saw TB's and Bryan's chat. She told on me. Can't keep that. Nothing from you guys. Oh, Judy, I'm sure she's probably trying to link this to every case from here to Timbuktu. I actually did a video. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you if I did. Just turn my camera on. But I did a video on that subject. Let me see. I have videos coming out for you guys all week. I made some over the weekend. So if you see me wearing the same shirt in like the next 4 or 5 videos, just mind your own business. I don't own another shirt. It looks like I don't. I did put out a video today, and it was my explanation, for what I believe the 8-hour time gap was, or delay in the calling. So I put that one out today, and then if I go here, I have some scheduled. So I have the one that I was talking about, it's going to come out tomorrow. I was trying to see if it would tell me when I scheduled it for. Scheduled it for like in the afternoon, I believe. 3:15. And it just is going to say, it says how many people have been wrongfully accused. Because we've had a lot. I think I counted, sorry guys. I think I counted 19 or 20. That was on my list. I actually, I might have it right up here. I do. We'll have to play that tonight maybe. And then it'll like be a little sneak peek for you guys. Because I did a video and I posted the name of the person that was accused. And then I put the picture of the person. That way there was like a visual so everybody could remember. Because there's been a lot. Thanks, Terry Dean. You guys were all, everyone was so nice for the most part in the comment section. I mean, I knew it was going to be controversial when I put it out there. I was like, okay, this is coming from me and my own trauma and stuff. So but I was like, this is what I think could have happened. And there's a couple of people that didn't like it, but a lot of people showed so much love and support. I was loving it. Oh, thanks, Mary Beth. She said all your shirts are cute. All of my Ohio shirts, they come from actually a store in Ohio. I shouldn't be telling everybody my secrets, but no. I used to work for them. It's called Where I'm From. And so it's a t-shirt store. They sell Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky. And then like in the cities too. Like they have like Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and stuff like that. So yeah, I love them. They're greatest quality. This was actually the first shirt I've ever picked out from there. And I love it. I wear this all the time. I wear it all the time. I've had these shirts for 4 or 5 years and I've washed and dried. They don't have Utah. But Mary Beth, if I could figure out where they're getting these t-shirts, I'll make you one. Because I've been trying to figure out, they don't have like any writing on them. I gotta probably ask the owner, Andrew, and be like, just give it to me. Let me just give them to me. Because I used to be a manager for their stores. That's why I have all their clothes. If you wonder why I have so many Ohio shirts, that's why. That is why. So new documents came out today, but before we go over all of that stuff, did someone get a membership? Am I seeing stuff I'm wrong? Oh, maybe we gifted them. Somebody came in and gifted like 20 memberships the other night, and I don't know who was Secret Santa the other night, But thank you again if you're listening, because I don't think it's somebody that chats in our chat normally. But they did like a drive-by members members thing. I was like, whoa, 20 memberships? I was like, no one's ever gifted 20 memberships at once. That's crazy talk. I love it. So now we're going to do a members only live tomorrow. So I think that'd be fun. Yeah, what part of Utah are you from? I've never been to Utah, and I've never known anybody from Utah. Now I do. Hey, Mike. You look down at her and then kept singing like total shock. Yeah, Terry Dean. When you go through shock, I mean, it's okay. Like shock to me, I've been through it so many times. It's almost like God's little gift to you, you know? It's your body is like able to just shut down. Or like during my car accident, for instance, they say from a zero is like dead, to a 15. So like a 5 would be like comatose, you know, like you're not with it. I was a 15 on the scale. They said I was fully awake, alert, knew what I was doing, even though I was bleeding and everything. Like they said I was just like I was right now. I don't remember any of it. Couldn't tell you any of it. Couldn't tell you. But they said I was like talking, and I guess I hit on the ambulance guy. I said, well, maybe I thought I was going to die. And then I found out the ambulance guy was one of my friends. So it was kind of funny, but you know, it was kind of funny. And if you see me bending down tonight, because I just scratched it, I have a bug bite on my leg. Man, I hate bug bites. So if you see me scratching away, that's why. Before we get into tonight's live, though, I have a couple of things I was going to go over. Let me move all this stuff out of the way. Miss Teresa. So the other night when I wrote Teresa the email, I didn't send it. I was like, what? So I wanted to check today or yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, Tony, you didn't even send it. So I sent it to her today or yesterday, and she wrote me back today. And she said that she's out of the hospital. She got out of the hospital yesterday. So she was in there for a full week almost. It would have been a week today. And she said that she'll be back in the chat this week. And she's really happy that everyone missed her, you know. She's really grateful. She just said, you know, thank you for all the well wishes and the prayers and stuff like that. So she'll be back here. And hopefully, you know, she's feeling good. I told her, I said, take as much time off as you need, girl. I said, we'll be here. Don't worry. We'll be here for when she gets back. So I'm like super dry. I didn't put any lotion on my face either, so it might be dry. I was out in the sun. Oh, Judy. When your cousin touched your arm. See? I can understand that. I can understand that. Yeah. Popular opinion, but I love Mormons. Brooklyn, I love you. You've been in shock since 1989. I wish that was me. Mine always disappears, you know, and I have to come out of it. What's Rich doing? What's going on, Rich? You got a test? You've been a lot of places, Rich. I thought I saw something about a test. I thought maybe I missed something. Ohio, yes, always. Oh, wrong side. Wrong side. Always. Yeah, well, I was born in Philadelphia, and I grew up in Ohio. But I remember when growing up, I did not want to claim Ohio. Riddler, the bat signal is up. That's so funny. I saw my grandma nude and in shock of her. We haven't even got started with the live yet. I want to hear it from somebody. Because one time I went 5 minutes and there was like, blah, blah. And I was just like, man, sorry, guys. But there's something else I wanted to address before we start the live. If you don't want to hear me rant, just pause it here and then, you know, catch up in a few minutes. But I just wanted to address something before we got started with tonight's live. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen some of the drama that is going on around the YouTube streets. And we're going to get into all of that tomorrow on our members only live. But I want to address one thing that happened and one creator in particular because it needs to be kind of addressed. But as some of you may know, there is a true crime creator by the name of Zav Girl, and you guys might have heard of this already because it's been all over the platform. There's been so many lives on it. It's just crazy. Yeah, legendary. The drama with autopsy. Yep, that one. There's another one too that has to do with domestic violence. We'll save that one for tomorrow. But this one's about Zav Girl. So, well, she's been on the platform. If you don't know who that is, she's been on the platform for a while. But she kind of, I think she got married, and that's when she kind of like went off the platform for a little while. So you weren't seeing her as much. But she was one of those creators that, did really long lives. Like, y'all know, I do 2-3 hour lives, but it would be like 8 hours. I mean, they were just always so long. But she put up a Patreon, and it's a $3 tier to buy. And she put up a paywall for her subscribers to pay to see autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch. Like, my hands are shaky. I'm like, this is beyond sick. I mean, really, like, I heard the graphic details about what was shown, and no one should have access to these. I didn't even know. Vincent was so confused. We were both confused last night when I was telling him about it, because we were like, how can you even get those? Like, a child? Like, and Vincent's like, HIPAA. And I'm like, no, that doesn't, no, because I was saying the same thing, during the trial. And we covered that case on this channel. And that was traumatizing. What we had to hear, like, and we're not even the parents or the family. And I cried for that little boy more times than I think I can count. It's so private. It's just so. So basically what Zav Girl did was she bought the FOIA request for these pictures of the autopsy. And then she put them on her Patreon, because you couldn't put them on YouTube. She put them on her Patreon, and then people are paying to see these photos. I have like some little notes here just so I can remember, like, what I need to say. But yeah, I didn't even tell you a thumbs up. Yeah, I didn't even tell anybody a thumbs up. Like this video. What's wrong with me tonight? But if you don't and I told you, if you don't know the Gannon Stauch case, we covered it on this channel. His stepmother confessed to his unaliving, his murder. She burnt him, she stabbed him, she drugged him, and she shot him. And then she put him into a suitcase. She stuffed him into a suitcase like he was nothing, toted him around, dropped his body off in Florida, where he sat for 2 months. He was missing for 2 months. So the good thing is Patreon, I heard an update before I came on that from Jules of All Trades. She did an update on it. And she said that Patreon has taken it down. Thank God. But he was found in the hot Florida sun. Like, so you can only imagine what these autopsy pictures have to look like. I didn't see him. I don't want to see him. I want nothing. Nope. And the thing is, she didn't even cover this case. So her saying like, this is for science and this is her, like, no, you're not a scientist. You're a YouTube creator that are selling this. And I heard, and I don't want to be graphic, but I heard that his organs were like separated from his body. And I don't know if that's true, but I don't even want to know if that's true. I don't want to know. I don't want to. But the family didn't even know about this. But now they do. And Landon Gannon's mom deleted all social media. She's terrified that she's going to see these pictures on social media. She's deleting it all. Yeah. So let me bring this up, because if you guys want to screenshot it, I don't want to read her whole community post, because I read it once and I was like, I got so mad. But so Zav Girl put up a community tab post. So if you guys want to like take a picture of that, screenshot it, because she may delete it. So I don't want anyone to not be able to read this if they want, because she literally plays the victim. Yeah. That to me says all I need to know as a person, as a creator, because I used to think that she was not a bad person, like not a bad creator. Like, I mean, wasn't really my cup of tea, but I was subscribed to her channel. And as soon as I found out, I went over, I unsubscribed. That was just me. I mean, she has a huge platform and people need to be held accountable for this and not just, I can't believe she did that. And then everybody stays subscribed to her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because that's what happens in true crime all the time. And it's like something will happen. And then like, I don't know, like a month later, it's nothing, like nothing happened. Business as usual. So. And she has 91,000 subscribers. She's almost to a play button. That's how big her platform is. And like, I can't get I don't know. I can't get my mind around it. But I wanted to bring it up because I know a lot of you guys have probably heard about it. And I didn't want to like not say anything. And then you guys be like, why is Tanya, you know about this? Cause like, you know me, Another creator posted the same thing, like the same video. Are you talking about that other? There was another creator that was posting it. I can't remember her name though. You did, Kathy, you unsubscribed to it. Yeah, I had to. I was like, Riddler, that's what I'm saying. How can this, is there a way to get like a law passed for Gannon? Like this is what this should come out of this. Like in true crime, a lot of times we don't solve cases. You know what I mean? Like we're over here and we want to, but we speculate, we go on the evidence, you know what I mean? But that's what we do here. This is like something that I feel like could actually be done if people, you know, get like together and create a law. I know that to start it, you have to like you have to write it out, take it to the governor, I think. I looked into this a long time ago for myself, but this was years and years ago. Brown Eyed Girl, does she live in Ohio? She doesn't live in Ohio. No way. What the hell's everybody's in Ohio? I'm in Ohio. Like, because that's like the third creator now. So, let me grab my drink. Brooklyn, you said it. May Gannon rest peacefully and Letitia rot in prison. And that's why I've never brought anything like I guess like body cam came out and like some new like other stuff. I was like, no, I'm done with that woman. Like when she was carted off, she was out of my life forever, you know? She lives in Ohio. You live in Ohio too? Man, everyone's in Ohio. She lives in Ohio. I wonder where she lives. No, I'm curious. I'm just curious, like, I don't want anyone to dox her, but I'm just curious, like, 'cause, you know, like, that's just me being curious because I live in Ohio, but I didn't know that. We all live in Ohio. So, like, that's the third creator. I can read it for you, Betty Joe. Yeah, I'll read it. It'll be kind of fast, but I'll read it for you guys. So it says, hey guys, really quick, Princess Mega Elsa was asking what was going on. So basically what happened was Zav Girl got a FOIA request. She paid like $400 or something, I guess, for it. And she took pictures. She got pictures of Gannon Stauch's autopsy and like pictures, like a video and pictures, and she put it together like in a video of some sort. And then she's selling it on her Patreon for people to buy pretty much for $3. If you like, yeah, people want to like buy it on there. And it's just, like, I would never ever want to see that. Okay. I'm going to read this because, man, I couldn't imagine looking at that. But she says, hey guys, I want to address what's going on right now with the Gannon autopsy / coroner video I created. Unfortunately, it seems to be something where people are very divided on how they feel about it, and I'm hearing a lot from both sides. And let me tell you what, she's not hearing a lot from the side that says, let's post it, because you should see the comments. The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people genuinely think making a video, including the autopsy photos, is bad and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people, like myself, think of autopsy's photos and the coroner discussing / explaining them as interesting and informative and are able to view it all in a more scientific, detached way. She's not a scientist. I don't know why she's saying it's scientific. It's just one of those things where it depends on the person. I am not adamantly against taking down the video if people are truly unhappy with it. I will absolutely consider doing that. And so this video has been out for like a few days, and this is the first time she's addressing it. But right now, it seems that there are a lot of other people who are acting in bad faith and creating lies for fun and excitement in order to pit others against me. If you've heard the latest rumor that I've been distributing photos of Gannon's genitalia, I assure you I have not, and his genitalia isn't visible in any of the autopsy photos in the autopsy/coroner video. Now, I will say people were screenshotting comments that people were making, and they were referring to Gannon's genitalia. So if they couldn't see it, I don't know why they would be making comments in the Patreon with Zab Girl in there. But I guess that's neither here nor there. So it's a bit difficult to sort through what's what. When there are other creators who have the same autopsies photos right there on YouTube for public viewing on their channel, where anyone can stumble across them, I haven't seen that, and they are not being attacked as I am right now, it becomes obvious that some of this hate I'm receiving is not genuine and is being done for other reasons. YouTube drama gets clicks, and that's not what this is. I understand some of you have issues with me charging money on my Patreon for the video. If I was charging money for the autopsy files alone or something like that, I'd see your point. But in this case, I spent a lot of time and worked hard putting together a video, lining up the coroner's audio and descriptions along with the appropriate part of the photos she is describing and editing it together to try to make it as informative as possible for the viewer. This is what I'm charging for, which I hope you can agree is understandable. Anyway, thank you to those who have reached out to me with your take on this in a respectful way and who understand this is simply a bit of gray area as to what is socially acceptable and what isn't. Like I said, I'm not against removing the video and I care what you think, but it's hard to make sense of it while I'm getting some very seriously unhinged threats being made against myself and my loved ones, and these threats are coming from those who claim I'm doing something morally objectable. For those of you who are willing to discuss this rationally and want to communicate your thoughts, please comment on this post as I might not see it anywhere else. After I deal with the threats, I will come back and read everything here so I can get an idea on the best way to proceed based on all of your guys' input. And people have like tagged her and went live and begged her to come on and talk about this. So there's 553 comments now, and the comment section was they're hating. They're hating. It's it's bad. It's like I lost my 17-year-old daughter. If you did this to her autopsies photos, you would be lucky if you got arrested. Hearing that you did this to Gannon makes me physically ill. You're an awful person. Just people like that lost their children and like have been through this. I haven't seen any comments that they're here for her. So, and it says the fact that Landon has asked for it to be taken down should be enough. He's a baby in his most vulnerable state. It is so disrespectful. Okay, so now I'm back over here. Sorry, I was trying to look in the chat, but I couldn't really look. Oh yeah, I'll send you the link, Ivy. Oh, and Ivy, last night when I think it was last night, yeah. So I don't know if I meant to tell you guys in the chat, if you guys accidentally got Nightbot had blocked you over on Bryan's channel, it was Nightbot. My Nightbot did the same thing to me, and it did it to Ivy. I saw Ivy was in the chat, and I was like, oh, Ivy. And I look over, and it was like, Nightbot timed Ivy out. And I was like, no. So I told him, like, on the panel, I was like, turn your Nightbot off. Because it's going to tag everyone out. That's what it did on my first time I used it. So, yeah, he's fixed now. Well, Summer, I was supposed to email Bryan today, and I was going to, but I was waiting on Vincent to let me know how he fixed it. And he didn't get home until late, and he figured it out. So I was like, oh, okay, well, then never mind. Those were like, all of my notes were about that Gannon Stauch, pretty much. But about Gannon Stauch. I mean, he was 11 years old when this happened to him. I mean, let that little boy rest. Let him rest. You know, I mean, Yeah, and it's just like, and if you guys want more like input on it, what's her name? Down the Rabbit Hole News did a live. The Glare did a live. Queen Bee did a live. Deets on the Streets did a live. I mean, it's out there. Jules of All Trades did a video on it. I mean, yeah. So, Susie Blue, I heard that the video was taken down. I think that's what Jules was saying. That it was because like I was trying to listen to it right before the live, and I was doing too many things. And I think she pulled it up, and the Patreon took it off. So, oh, thanks, Riddler. Thumbs up. He said 121 watching, 56 likes. This channel benefits all of us who seek justice. I love that. Doodlebug, you've been here since Kylie Rodney too, then me too. And if I can't do over, I can't even hear the word overlay. I'm literally traumatized from that word. Like when the car footage came out for Idaho, recently just came out, I was like, no, nobody do an overlay. And then because I knew people were going to start doing overlays. And that's what happened. But I mean, it was good overlay, but But if you guys were here for the Kylie Rodney case, I mean, when we got that footage of her going into the water, like her car going into the water, overlay after overlay, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I didn't even know what an overlay was, so. Patreon went down the toilet now. See, I haven't ever been on Patreon. Princess Megan also, I adore Queen Bee for doing this, and I believe she reached out to like Landon, or she may have talked to her on our live tonight, but I'm not sure. I didn't get to watch the second one. And I applaud her for like just some of the creators that she's called out. Oh, and guess who took up for Zav Girl? It doesn't get any better than this. Guess who on this platform took up for Zav Girl? Y'all are thinking it. Bullhorn Betty. That's the only person. Like, come on now. Bullhorn Betty did. Me too. I like Christina Randall on 10 to Life. Mary Beth, that's like, so her couch on 10 to Life looks like mine, but hers is pink. I got my idea from her because I thought it was really cute. Shocker, Sweet Sleepy said. I like 10 to Life. Yeah, she's got a whole team on her side now. And so I don't understand, like, how many people would you have in your Patreon if they're spending $3? Like, how much are you making? It can't be that much. You know what I mean? Even if it was a lot, I'm not saying that anything is, I'm just wondering, like, was all of this worth it? Couldn't you just, like, have maybe looked at them yourself and then came on and maybe described or something? Like, I don't know. Judy, I think that the reason why I don't see Bullhorn Betty in my notifications anymore is because I've just hated all of her videos. Ivy's a member. Sally Mae, you're absolutely right. It really is. I just wanted to bring that up before we started the live, the Idaho part of the live, because I didn't want to make a video. I wanted to make a video on it, but I didn't want to make a whole video on it because I knew if I was live, maybe I wouldn't be so bad with my words and so mean, like with my words, because sometimes I get very passionate. And I've seen and been around for a few different child murders and true crime. And Gannon, what was done to that little boy here on this earth, and then for that to be happening to him after, I pray for Landon and Al and Lana. Like, that's the internet. That's forever. What about his little sister? What about his little sister, though? See, Kathy Baker, I couldn't even imagine if that was my child because I don't have any children and I'm already this upset. I couldn't imagine if I had a child. I would, oh my Lord. I really would be asking you guys where she's from in Ohio. I couldn't even. It's a child. Okay, so like, I could understand if it's 18 and over or something. You know what I mean? Like the person is 18 or over. I don't know. Maybe that could be a thing. But this should be a law. If you're under 18, your picture should not be distributed for anybody. Other than if your mama and your daddy want to see those. Like, and that's up to them. And we all saw the first day of court. I don't know if Zav girl watched it, but she probably didn't. When Landon had to run out of the courtroom because she was in tears, she was a mess. Me too, Doodlebug. I don't want to see the Idaho. No, the Idaho 4, I consider them children too. I don't want to see any of it. It's just, that's like, oh, that's just on a whole new level that I don't understand. I just don't understand it. And I guess that's a good thing that I don't understand it. Oh, let me pause that. There are some new documents that came out. Let me see if any more came out. No. Okay. Okay. The ones that are on the 7th, I don't know why it says that, but those are new. These are all new. And I'll go through these, and then I have a news article that'll kind of like sum it all up, but I'll let you guys know. If there's any words during in any of these legal documents that you want, I don't know what's going on there, that you want me to look up, let me know. I do not mind doing that at all, because none of us are here as a lawyer, I don't think, unless we have a lawyer in the crowd. And if not, can someone go be a paralegal or something? Can one of y'all help me out with that? I'm about to send someone to school. Because, oh my lordy. Right, Rich? It's crazy. That's like, and I would never, I really, I mean, I have problems with, like, not like problems with people, but I don't necessarily agree with people and what they do on this platform, but I'm like, that's their platform. They can do with it what they want. But this is like crazy. We all had to step in. And Cinema Shogun did a video on it too, and he was mad. You're a paralegal, Brooklyn? Well, I didn't know that. Got a paralegal in the house? I'm a part-time detective. Summer, you are. I spent 6 hours a day in court on my couch. For free, you do that, Janet. I love that. Too much curiosity kills the cat. Yeah. I know chat is going kind of fast though. I have it on slow chat, so if you guys need me to, but it doesn't affect the members, so. Oh, that's so sweet, Tennessee Shine. I am late. I have to play catch up. I can't miss your videos. You are one of the most honest people on Facebook, and I trust, which is rare for me. Aw, that's really nice. Thank you. You're very sweet. And it was about another creator, so we were kind of like going off about something. So if you want, you could always speed it up a little. And you can vape it. That's the best comment. That sounds like that's me. I'm like, where's my vape actually right now? She said something. And I've got this big hunkin' one again. Oh, thanks. Alert. Let me pull my email up. Oh, I've just pulled up the maps on my phone or on my computer. I have like 2 screens going. I don't know why. Okay, I gotta find my email. It's like, where is it at? It's in here somewhere. Sorry, guys. We're just getting an email real quick. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, Appreciate you guys being here tonight. I really, really, really do. Oh, where was I? I was all the way down there. Oops. Is this the same one? Oh, this is the same one I have up. Riddler, that's so funny. Look, that is so funny. I literally have the same article up to play after, or to read after I read these, because it like wraps it up in perfect. That's so funny. Riddler, you're awesome. You're awesome. I'm going to have to like scoop Riddler up. You're always on it. You're on things. I love that. I was just reading, sorry. I was reading the comments. Oh, Mary Beth, that's so sweet. She bought shots for everyone at the bar. It was Anna's birthday. I know, and her birthday, I was thinking of her being 21. I really almost had a drink, and I don't drink. I was like, should I have a drink? Like, I was asking Vincent. He's like, I don't know. We are like, yeah, and they literally have the same one pulled up because I saw that and I was like, oh, that's a good article. Um, and these just came out today, so hopefully you're hearing them here first. Okay, so we'll read through this one. This is order for county to pay expense of transcribing grand jury transcript. And I'll read it to you and then I'll kind of go over what it means. And like I said, if you need me to look up anything, let me know. Defendant Bryan C. Kohlberger was previously found to be indignant pursuant to IC 19-852 and 19-854. And indignant, I had to look that up in whatever. Is it indigent? No, indignant. It means like he needs he's poor. He needs his counsel to be paid for. So. Oh, Arlene said she'll have a drink with me. That'd be fun, Arlene. Yeah, so this is Michelle, so I'm going to read this and I'm going to ask you guys the same thing because I want to know why Ann Taylor ain't paying for these damn transcripts. I don't know, maybe it's me, but it says defendant Bryan C. Kohlberger was previously found to be indignant pursuant, and I said those, on June 28th, 2023. This court, based on a stipulation from the parties, entered an order for preparation and release of transcript and record of grand jury proceedings with conditions. The transcript is scheduled to be completed on July 21st, 2023. Therefore, based on the defendant's inability to pay and the party stipulation for preparation of the transcript for defendant's review, it is ordered that Latah County pay the expense associated with transcribing the grand jury transcript once the transcript is complete. Personally, I would say you guys been wanting the shit. Excuse my French, but y'all can pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to be like mean or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, because that's what they wanted it. Normally, grand jury proceedings are kept secret. So this is normally an expense the state would have to make. But you never know. Favorite drink at the bar is cinnamon toast crunch. That sounds good. Thanks, Olivia. I was reading your comment. Oh, Arlene, rum and Coke. I used to drink. Oh, hi, Joanne from Australia. I used to drink straight Jim Beam and Bud Light. Man, I was hardcore, I felt like. But that's back when I could drink a lot. I haven't drank since 2020. I think June of 2020 or something like that. But now I'm in the mood. Yeah, I'm in the mood for a pina colada or something. Arlene's got the right idea. I'm ready to go sit by the pool. Let's all go. So basically what this is they're just saying that the prosecution is going to pay for the grand jury transcripts. So if you hear anybody complaining that the prosecutor's asking for a little more money, I'll say, well, they need it. Judy, I don't, because he complained about it, I don't even know how he really can do it. They work their magic. I think it's because the prosecution doesn't, maybe they're picking their battles. But she said if kept secret, then why is he allowed to get his paws on them? That's so funny. Okay, we'll go to the next document here. But I mean, Ann Taylor's making $200 an hour now. I'm sure that went up from the $20 she was probably making an hour for the cases she was probably not doing big. I mean, not cases like this to where she's going to make money like this. I know where I'm from, like, you get like a $20 lawyer, that's what you get. He's still digging for that alibi. Jan said, yeah, he is. He said, just a teensy bit more time. It's almost humorous because it's like, what the bloody, like, to me, I would be like, I don't know. I mean, I know people are going to get me for this. They're going to say, well, even if he gave an alibi, but it's like, well, but he hasn't. I mean, even I was sleeping at home. Go check my whatever. Would be better than nothing. Hey, Bryan, how you doing? Oh, I got like my face is itchy today. State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohlberger. Oh, let me put. I'll put the membership in the chat, and then I'll also put where I'm getting these papers from. So that way, if you guys ever want to like get on there and check out any of the legal documents, it's right here in the chat for you right now. Oh, that's awesome. I love popcorn. Popcorn got me fat one time. I'm not going to lie about that. I have these weird things where I like will obsess over one food for a very long time. Like it's unhealthy almost. And I'll just eat one thing. And popcorn, when I was in a wheelchair, that was what I loved. And when you're sitting down, you don't realize that you're gaining weight. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the popcorn. But I love popcorn. Love Riddler. The average, I love when coming in with the numbers. The average public defender salary in Idaho is $54,185. Taylor will earn $384,000 at minimum to represent Kohlberger. Ooh, yeah, she's gonna make some money. With all them women and supporters he's got, why not let them bankroll his defense? Yeah, these co-conspiring YouTubers can afford to crowdsource this defense. I think they're working for the defense. Man, you guys are on it. You guys are on top of it with the comments tonight. Sour cream and onion chips. Oh my gosh, it's bad, y'all. I'll eat. It's bad. Like, what is it right? It's chocolate milk right now. That's my thing. That's my thing. At least I'll have some healthy bones. Oh, you saw those? See, Tennessee, I don't know if I could do it. Actually, I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do it. Because even though I have a lot of injuries to me, and I don't mind if it's me that's hurt, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Like I'm calm usually. I'm actually frighteningly calm. But if I were to see another person injured, I freak out. I want to run. Like I'm not nurse material, y'all. Like I want to run from the person instead of helping. I'm like the worst because I hate to see people like in pain, and so that's my mechanism. It's just what I do. I'm a flighter now. Sugar wafers right now, man. Oh, I eat the craziest things. I remember it was lava cakes from Domino's for the longest time, every night. I gained weight then too. I go through spurts. Like, it's crazy. But I'm only on chocolate milk mix, or chocolate milk kick today, or right now. Michelle, I don't know if this day could be. I think that they're just giving them more time because they haven't received some of the evidence that they need to bring in. And so that's what this one's kind of going over. So the next one is order staying time for speedy trial. And we had talked about this before, that the defense wanted they were going to ask at some point in time for it to stay because they haven't got all of the evidence from the prosecution. And the prosecution is still, I think, waiting on lab work to come in if it hasn't came in yet. And so I think that's what this is all about. So they are order staying time for the speedy trial. And it says on June 13th, 2023, defendant Bryan C. Kohlberger filed a motion to stay proceedings pursuant to Idaho Code Section 2-213, Section 1. On June 15th, 2023, the state filed an objection to defendant's request. On June 23rd, 2023, defendant filed first sworn statement of facts in support of motion to stay proceedings. And let me see. Sometimes I like to lean up to read a little bit. So that's why I turn my camera off so I'm not like all up in your face. It says defendant filed first sworn statement of facts in support of motion to stay proceedings. Idaho Code Section 2-213, Section 1 reads, within 7 days after the moving party discovered or by the exercise of diligence could have discovered the grounds therefore, and in any event before the trial jury is sworn to try the case, a party may move to stay the proceedings and in a criminal case to quash the indictment or for other appropriate relief on the ground of substantial failure to comply with this chapter in selecting the grand or trial jury. The statute goes on to state that if the court determines that in selecting either a grand jury or a trial jury, there has been a substantial failure to comply with this chapter, the court shall stay the proceedings pending the selection of the jury in conformity with this chapter, quash an indictment, or grant other appropriate relief. Oh, thanks, Riddler. Always learn something new from this channel. Well, I love that. That's what we try to do over here. It's all summer. Oh, this case is going to cost a lot more. Yeah, it's that they said $1 million. Or no, to keep him on. So to keep him on death row. I think that because they have another death row person on there right now. He's been on there for 40 years. I believe 35 or 40. It was like 1.1 million or 1.3 million. But if you think about Lori Vallow's trial, it was over 3 million, I believe, 3 to 5 million. And it was in the same state. And there was less victims in this state. She has a lot, but so I'm wondering how much. I think it's going to cost a lot. And thank you so much, Riddler, for the $5. I appreciate that so much. And I appreciate you so much. You're the best. You always send me stuff. Yeah, we do, Shauna. We do learn from Riddler. I love that you sent me the thing that I had. I love that. Let's see. Where were we at? It says, before a court can reach its decision, the moving party must first present a sworn statement of facts that is true would constitute a substantial failure to comply with the proceedings for selecting a grand jury. From there, the party is entitled to present evidence to support its claim. Only after the presentation of evidence and finding that there is a substantial failure to comply with the proceedings for selecting a grand jury can a court stay the proceedings pending the selection of the jury in conformity with this chapter, quash the indictment, or grant other appropriate relief. I think I read that part already, but that's okay. At this juncture, Kohlberger's motion to stay proceedings is premature. Kohlberger has not yet had the opportunity to review the grand jury records, transcript, and recordings. Once those materials are reviewed, Kohlberger may renew his motion to stay proceedings pursuant to Idaho Code Section 2-213 if he finds facts that support a claim that there was a substantial failure to comply with the procedures for selecting a grand jury. So basically what they're saying is, if you find something wrong when you get the grand jury transcripts with the way that we conducted this grand jury or what we did in this grand jury, come back, file again to stay the proceedings, and, we'll look at it then. But it says, thus Kohlberger's motion to stay proceedings pursuant to Idaho Code Section 213 is denied without prejudice. I'm going to grab my drink. And thank you guys all that are joining us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. We are reading over the newest legal documents that have come out in the Idaho 4 case regarding Bryan Kohlberger. We're just reading through those, and then I'm going to read through an article that kind of sums everything up. And then I was going to watch, have you guys watch a little video. It was like over the house today, like over them, the demolition. It says, nevertheless, the court recognized that Kohlberger has the right to review the grand jury materials to determine if there are grounds for challenging the grand jury selection process. This is a complicated, unusual case, and it has taken some time by no fault of either party to prepare the grand jury materials Kohlberger is entitled to. While the clerk record and recordings were provided to Kohlberger. Okay, so while the clerk's record and recordings were provided to Kohlberger on June 6, 2023. The transcript of the proceedings will not be completed until July 21st, 2023. It will then take the defense time to review all the material and determine if they wish to renew their motion to stay proceedings pursuant to Idaho Code Section 2-213. Oh, thanks so much, Rich. You just gifted out 5 memberships. Aw. And if Sarah comes in here, someone remind me. Because she went to, and if you're listening, Sarah, I keep forgetting to ask her about her concert. She went to the Taylor Swift concert. It's been forever ago now, probably, but I remembered and I want to know about it. Because I love me some Tay Swift. And Libby said that's BS. I shouldn't have to pay AT's salary. Yeah, it's crazy how much she's getting paid. Like, I mean, I guess maybe it's because it's a death penalty case and I've never, have done a case that started and has went all the way through to the death penalty. So maybe that's me being naive and not realizing, but I just don't know. I think that they're paying her so much. Like, she's a public defender. It's her job, out of the kindness of her heart, to publicly defend somebody. Like, she signed up for that shit. She signed up for that I ain't getting paid squat because I'm working for the state. So I don't understand how you can go back with your hand out and be like, okay, now I want more. I want a raise. Betty Jo, you're absolutely right. This just opens the door for other murders that have been indicted by a grand jury to file appeals so they can see their grand jury indictments, because if it's good for him, then it's good for them. Yep. Green membership train. Look at that. Oh, we had one going the other night. It was crazy in here. We had all kinds of memberships. That's why I was like, we need to do a members only live. I checked to see how many members we had the other day, and I was like, hot damn, guys. We have like 260 members. I was like, oh my Lord. We haven't done a live in probably like a week or so too. A couple weeks maybe. I was trying to make sure I was in the right spot. So, okay. It says the court also recognizes Kohlberger's statutory and constitutional right to a speedy trial. Pursuant to Idaho Code, Section 19-3501, the court, unless good cause to the contrary is shown, must order the indictment to be dismissed if a defendant whose trial has not been postponed upon his application is not brought to trial within 6 months from the date that the defendant was arraigned before the court in which the indictment is found. The decision whether to waive a speedy trial is an important decision that should not be rushed and warrants strong consideration by both counsel and client. At this juncture, Kohlberger has not waived his right to a speedy trial, and a jury trial is scheduled to commence October 2nd, 2023. Thus precious time is ticking. So that's a question. Why do you guys think he hasn't waived his right to a speedy? Because I thought for sure when they went down, if they were going to hand down the death penalty in this case, that he would waive his right to a speedy. Don't go and leave. Oh, Richie, I'll try not to go and leave for too long. But I will be actually Wednesday, guys. I'm going to be on Crime, Lies, and Lines channel. I need, if Summer, if you could, because I love you so much, if you could put her channel in the chat, that'd be so great. I'm going to be there Wednesday. We're going to talk Idaho. Wednesday morning, she's awesome as a creator. She's keeps like the crowd going, and I love that. And we're going to have some really good, conversations. Bryan, I'm wondering when they're going to do the demolition, if we're going to see it. Because if you guys have noticed, when they put the window, like they boarded up the windows and stuff, and okay, when they put the gate, they put the gate out there. Nobody saw them put that gate up. Like nobody had footage of them actually putting the gate, like people going there and putting the gate up. And then when they they boarded up the house, nobody saw them do that. It's just crazy. Oh, Judy, I agree. I agree with him with that. I actually agree with Chris McDonough. Yeah. He believes AT is going to go after Ellie. I believe that she's going to try to go after Ellie. She's going to try to go after the evidence and the way it was obtained and who obtained it and their credentials. And I believe all of that. Susie Blue, yeah, Lori Daybell had a speedy trial. I think they believe that it'll benefit them in some way. I think that's so. I think that too. Maybe he doesn't want to. Okay, if he's playing chess right now, right? Like he doesn't, or poker, let's say poker. He doesn't want to show his hand. Like maybe he doesn't want to crack yet. Like if it's him, allegedly, if it's him, maybe he's just being really stubborn. Thank you, Summer. Oh, we are in Nurse, Tennessee, Shine. That's why. I can't look because I'm not in the medical field. I couldn't do the medical field. I love everybody that can. My God, I love you guys, though. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Especially, I love nurses, EMTs. Y'all are my jam. Don't tell my surgeons that, though. Oh, you guys have some good comments. What was Riddler saying? Riddler, he's loud. Oh, summer storms. Oh. Yeah, everyone's allowed to have their opinion on what's going on. For sure. As long as we know we're not bad-mouthing the victims or the surviving victims or, that's not gonna do anything for this case. If, in my opinion, if we sit here and we badmouth Dylan and Bethany, it's not like, let's just say let's play devil's advocate for 1 second, right? And let's say that Dylan had something to do with this. We could sit here and talk about Dylan all day and say she had something to do with this, but do you think that, as a creator, I don't have any say in what the cops do. I'm just here with a microphone and a camera. And sometimes a dog or a cat. But do you get what I'm saying? So, I just feel like, I don't know, just leave them out until there's evidence that needs to bring people like that in. And I'm not saying anybody in the chat said that. Of course not. But just that was just an example. And you guys will have to check out my video tomorrow. And I'll try to remember to play that video tonight. Let me forget. I'll play you the unusual suspects video that I put together. But we'll get through this document. I keep stopping, but it says, so I'm going to read this again. The decision whether to waive speedy trial is an important decision that should not be rushed and warrants strong consideration by both counsel and defendant. At this juncture, Kohlberger has not waived his right to a speedy trial, and a jury trial is scheduled to commence October 2nd, 2023. Thus, precious time is ticking. Given these two important rights, the right to review and potentially challenge the grand jury and the right to a speedy trial, the court finds, and Kohlberger has agreed, that there is good cause to 2023 until August 11th, 2023. This 30-day stay is limited only to the running of speedy trial and does not stay any other portion of the case or the parties' abilities to continue discovery, motion practice, or Kohlberger's obligation to provide the state with an alibi by July 24th, 2023, as previously agreed to by the parties. So, with that being said, everybody mark your calendars for the 24th. It's a Monday. We'll be streaming. I'll be here live all day. All day. Because I have been waiting 6 months to hear this alibi or something from this guy. We have not heard anything from Kohlberger. Nothing. It's going to be a huge day, y'all. To me, that's a huge day. I'm going to wear something nice. I got me 2 dresses in the closet. I haven't worn them yet. Maybe I'll wear a dress. I'm going to get dressed up for him. I'm going to make sure. And I'm going to sit here like this. Just waiting. Just waiting on that alibi. Because I just want to know what he says. I just want to know and I swear if he doesn't say anything, if he says, oh, I don't have one. If he doesn't produce one, Seth, that's just not going to look good on his case at all. That's not going to look good for him. But I got my calendar marked. I'm ready. But he has to, so he's obligated to provide the state with an alibi by July 24, 2023, as previously agreed to by the parties. This time will allow the defense to obtain all the grand jury materials it is entitled to, review said materials without waiving speedy trial, and then decide if they wish to pursue a stay pursuant to Idaho Code Section 2-213. The stay means that the state must bring Kohlberger to trial within 6 months and 37 days from the date of Kohlberger's arraignment, which was May 22nd, 2023. Kohlberger and his counsel agreed on the record on July 6, 2023, to the terms of this stay and have agreed that Kohlberger cannot later argue that his right to a speedy trial was violated if he is brought to trial within 6 months and 37 days of May 22nd, 2023. At the same time, the court is specifically recognizing that Kohlberger has not waived his right to a speedy trial by agreeing to this stay. At this time, the trial set to begin October 2nd, 2023, will not be moved out, but may be in the future if either party decides the extra 37 days are necessary to prepare for the trial. I don't know if any of y'all did the math. I meant to do the dates, but 37 days from October 2nd, I'm not sure when that is, but they could extend it. Now, to be totally honest with you, I think they're going to extend it. If they have the opportunity to extend it, unless he decides, last minute, I want to talk or something. But I mean, I don't know. Oh, about the I mean, Bryan, you're funny. No, really, I'm gonna have to order something nice for him. Oh, Judy, yeah, the pictures, I did those on a live the other day. I didn't put them on the community tab or anything, but I had a picture of Bethany. I don't know. She might have. She might have moved out there to finish college. Your birthday's July 17th, Betty Joe? Aw. Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, I didn't realize what the date, like the month was for a minute. My mom's birthday would have been the 19th. Oh, I'll remember your birthday then. I love it. Yeah, exactly. There's cameras at his apartment. Um, Even when you stay at home, like I was saying, on a live the other night, like even if you stay at home, even if like let's say you're sleeping, which we know that he didn't sleep late at night, he was known to be awake. So with that being said, he should have had his phone maybe in his hand, like you would think at some point, or your Google or your TV you would have on, or your iPad, your computer, your just something. Have a good night, Riddler. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And thanks for the email. Yeah, Simpson. Yeah. Got a lot of people on that team. He's probably going to say he was buying trucks. Only thing and this wouldn't make sense either, but he was known to run at night. But who doesn't take their phone with them? Like, who doesn't listen to music when they're running? Like, I don't know. I always did. On the 27th? Aw. This case is going to break the internet. It really is. It's going to. It really is. We were actually talking about that last night. Like, what makes this case? And it's like, we just talked about it. It's like because it was 4 college students that went out in groups. You know what I mean? Like they weren't drinking and driving. They weren't drugging and driving. they were in a group together, they were going to get food, or they were at a fraternity party, and it's just, I think that's what it is, because it was in the night, and it's the boogeyman. Like, that's just like Christy Gonzalez said, that's the boogeyman. Like, it's everyone's worst fear. If he doesn't speak at all, they'll just go on, Joanne, with court as usual. I mean, hell, we've had people that like run and leave the country, and they'll try an empty damn chair. Like, ain't even nobody there, but they're trying the chair. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Brian's a weirdo. He would silent run. He would probably. Alibi or all lies. Oh man, you guys are funny. Okay, let me read this next one. And oh, yeah, let me take that down. Man, I wonder what. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't speak at all, he doesn't speak at all. I mean, he has that right to remain silent. That's his right. I would hate that if he stays quiet, though. Brian, that's so funny. Attention, all parties. All parties. I feel like I should say it like that. We are at 109 with 137. Will all missing parties please report? Report to the like button and the subscribe. Because we're trying to hit 10,000 Titans over here. And then once we do, we're going to have a cash giveaway. Can't beat that. His eyes freak me out, and I don't care what anyone thinks about that. I'm going to say it. I'd say it to his face. Colbert, your eyes freak me out. When you look from the side, he's not as bad. But when you're looking him dead on, and you see the color of his eyes and the way that they're just sat back, I don't know. He freaks me out. The eyes creep me out. Now, if he wasn't on trial for unaliving 4 people, would I think that still? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. It's just something about the darkness and the eyes, and I don't know. You think he's gonna be quiet the entire time? To be honest, the best thing he could do. Yeah, Brooklyn, you're probably right, but I hope he better not. I'm gonna be here all day. Does anybody know if they took? Okay, I thought it used to be that you could only stream on YouTube for 8 hours straight, but I've seen people like stream over 8 hours straight. So I might be here right in the morning, right whenever I know the court's open. Court opens 8 o'clock there, so 11 o'clock here. Jennifer, he does look like Ted Bundy. Who said blue? Oh, that was something else I wanted to go over with you guys too. Maybe you guys can help me with that. Let me see. Let me write that down. I'll write that down so I don't forget. Okay, and I'm going to pull up this next document here for you guys. Let's pull this document up. Oh, it's this one. Okay, it's the last one. I just want to make sure. Did we get them all? Yeah, we did, I think. Yep, we did. Look at that. This is just a notice of hearing. My eyes deliver before my mouth, too. Ivy said, me too, girlfriend, me too. My face says it. I mean, it's, yeah. Mary Beth, I think you're absolutely right. He wishes he was Ted Bundy. Maybe he would be able to kiss Dr. Dorothy. And we just made the full circle, because I was just talking about the Gannon Stauch case. He has a very flat effect. Yeah, Shawnee, he does. He looks like there's a few people that he kind of looks like, which is strange because I guess no one else saw it before now. Or they did, or he was just a weirdo. I was just reading the chat. Sorry. Whenever I get quiet, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so this is a notice of hearing, and I don't know what the hearing is about. If y'all know, let me know. It just says defendant's motion hearing. August 18th, 2023. Mark your calendars, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So we'll probably have the tape by 2, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time that day. The way that they're doing the court and the cameras as of right now is they're not live streaming. They're recording it live, like, you know, recording it while they're in there. But then they have to get it approved. I believe, like, get it approved, and then they can stream it onto their, like, court TV and Law and Crime, and then they can bring it onto their social platforms. So what I'm thinking is, if they don't break it up like they did, like Alec Murdaugh's trial, like where they would do like half of the, like they televised, or they had the trial streaming, but like Nancy Grace would do, where she would go in and she would give us like half the day, and then she would give us like the other half of the day, like in a recap. So it's not going to be like that, I don't think. I think what they're going to do is they're literally just going to 8 in the morning until 5 or 9 to 5 or whenever it is that they're open. The courthouse is open. I think it's 9 to 5. They'll have him in there. So we might not get the tapes until like 8:15 at night, 8:30 Eastern Standard. And if that's the case, then we are all going to have to be night owls. Because I don't want to wait till the next day. I don't want to be a day behind. And I know y'all don't want to be a day behind either. So pack a lunch, pack some snacks, but I'll let you guys know for sure if that's how it's still going to be, you know, when trial comes. But I'm not going to miss a second of this. This shit show's on right up my alley. And I pray that we have some cameras. Pray we have some court TV cameras in there. There are 4 steps in Idaho for death penalty case. Snacks be bussin'. Gotta have the best snacks. I know. I feel like I'm becoming a night owl. What's wrong with me? I've been staying up too late. Vincent's like, I have to work in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead, go to bed. No, I don't like. He doesn't like to go to sleep without me. Sleep's gonna be over. Yeah. So we were at Target yesterday. I mean, what's new? We were at Target and we went by, like, we were in the baby aisle, and I was like, oh, I just need like one of those little baby beds. Like, I can just like crawl up in that, because I don't want to bother him if he's sleeping. We're just gonna have to get this room padded a little bit, because he's like on the other side of the wall, which is funny. He'll be fine. He'll be watching it with us. Shoot. He knows just about as much of the case as we do. I love him for that. Oh, you were meaning the 4. Oh, you were meaning that. I thought you meant, sorry, Jan. I thought you meant like the 4 reasons, or the reasons why they could seek the death penalty. Oh, you work till midnight, Ivy? You're at work right now, girl? Ivy, girl, what you doing? You're at work. Don't you leave, though. Oh, Mary Beth. See, we have like where I live, we have a Walmart that's like a 2-minute drive, and a Target that's a 2-minute drive. So I usually just go to Target. I'll always go to Target. They know when I'm not there. You have to be at work by 6 a.m. in the morning. It's not going to be easy because I have a 7-day vacation. Yeah, you're not going to want to go to work. You're not going to want to go to work. Let's just be real about that. I wanted to share this with you as well. I know my man loves me because he can't sleep with me giggling on TikTok next to him. Oh my gosh. Vincent would be like, Tony, you gotta get off TikTok. I'm never on TikTok, but that's what he'd say. And I have a feeling shit show is more spot on than any of us would like. It's going to be one. And I'm ready for it. I'm going to be dressed up like Kohlberger. Oh, I should do some Amber Heard type crap. I should wear the first, like, when he wore the suit the last time, not this suit, but the one before this one, I should wear that. Like, wear what he's wearing. I just don't know what he would be wearing that day. Oh, I remember Kmart. They had that blue light special, Mary Beth. And I remember as a kid, that was like a big deal. I don't know why my mom was like, oh, let's go over and check that out. That was like the thing, though. I wanted to actually play that for you. So it says here, Bryan Kohberger files motion to stay proceedings in trial. Judge calls motion premature. An infinite stay of proceedings was ultimately denied, but a Latah County judge did grant a 37-day to allow Kohberger to review the grand jury material. And this just came out today. This is actually what Riddler sent me, and I already had this up for tonight. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It says, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students last November has filed a motion to stay proceedings in his case. Newly filed documents show Kohberger requested the stay, citing substantial failure to comply with selection proceedings for a grand jury. An indefinite stay of proceedings was ultimately denied, but a Latah County judge did grant a 37-day stay to allow Kohberger and his defense to review the material from the grand jury. See, I told you this was going to sum it all up for us. Hey, Patty. They did have good frozen cakes. I forgot about those. They had that different icing. It was just that icing that they put. It says Latah County prosecutors objected to Kohberger's request, and Kohberger filed a sworn statement of facts in support of the motion to stay proceedings. However, Judge John C. Judge determined that the motion is premature since Kohberger has not yet reviewed the grand jury records, which were filed shortly after he was indicted for the 4 murders. Less than 2 weeks ago, the court agreed to release some of the grand jury material for the defense to review. Despite this, the court determined that Kohberger and his defense have the right to review the materials from the grand jury, as well as the right to challenge the grand jury selection process. The court ultimately denied Kohberger's request to stay proceedings due to the complexity of the case. However, the court did grant him time to review the grand jury materials and decide whether or not he wants to file a new motion to stay proceedings. So I wonder if that's what this is. Like this motion hearing for 8/18 that we were just looking at. I wonder if that's what that's for. Like he has to have like, if he wants to stay or waive his right, he has to do it by then. I don't know. Yeah, it says this allows him, it says the court also acknowledged Kohberger's right to a speedy trial and ordered the stay in the running of the speedy trial clock until August 1st. This allows him 37 extra days to review the material without giving up his right to a speedy trial. Judge said this motion does not affect any other aspect of the case or the scheduled start date of the trial. Kohberger's trial is still set to begin on October 2nd, but could be moved if the defense decides those extra 37 days are necessary to prepare for trial, which ultimately I think that they will. A hearing to consider Kohberger's motion again will be held on August 18th at 10:30 a.m. Kohberger is accused of murdering University of Idaho students Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan in their off-campus home last November. He was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania on December 30th, 2022, and has been awaiting trial in the Latah County Jail since early January. Since his arrest, Kohberger has been indicted by a grand jury and chose to stand silent at his arraignment, meaning a not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. On June 26th, the state announced they intended to seek the death penalty against Kohberger. And that was all of it, I believe, yeah. What was this? Oh, okay, that's from a while ago. And then I was going to play this here in a minute. But yeah, so that's just kind of like what we went over a minute ago. So Bryan wants that, the full grand jury records, and he's getting most of them. They're just waiting on them to come back. So that's why some of the stuff was pushed out. And then he has to give his alibi by June 24th. Now let me do something. Let me do something real quick. This will be good. Let's do a poll. Oh wait, whoops. I didn't do a poll. I just was going to type that in the chat. Oops, let's do this. Okay, call me crazy, but we haven't played any videos since we started this live, right? We haven't played one video. This is really weird. Because when let me see. Yeah, like what the hell? I don't know. It'll probably be fine. It's just like, yeah, I want a human to review this. This is craziness. Like yeah, I didn't think I did. So on cause like it'll tell you like automatically if it's not copyright or anything, but it's, if you use like for instance, if I were to use like Banfield or News Nation, like one of their clips, they could always send in like for them to get part of the ad revenue from, you playing the video, which normally News Nation, if you just ask for it to be reviewed, they release it to you because they're really cool. And Nancy Grace, love her, chef's kiss, thank you, Nancy. But no, so like on my video right now, it says that there's like it's like a not copyright or anything, but it's like it's like not available for all. It's like it wants to share like my monetization. I'm just like, what the heavens? I'm like, I'm so confused in life right now because we always be playing some videos on here. So I thought maybe, I'm like, am I losing my shit? Yeah, it's very weird. It'll be fine though. And usually if you do a request, because I'm going to play this little short video and they should be fine with that though. Oh, no way. I don't know. They should. They should, yeah, because it'll come out in public. It'll come out in the paperwork. Like that shouldn't be redacted, I wouldn't think. Son of a gun though. They better not. No way, don't rain on my parade. I hope that they do. I hope that they release it because I'm gonna be dressed up that day. I'm gonna be dressed up, just looking nice. Maybe he'll give it. Maybe he'll come out and he'll have like this awesome freaking alibi, and it'll be like I was here, and it'll be something, and we'll all be like, oh well, we were wrong, but I don't know. Do you think when they talk about Bryan Kohberger, like they talk about like him, like it says, where did I see that at? Like, it almost sounds like he's the one talking. Like like Bryan Kohberger argued that this, and I'm wondering if it's his attorneys or if he's actually the one that's doing it. Let's see if Bryan can lie. Best way or metaphor to better understand how waiving or waiver of rights applies to a civil or... Oh, I don't know. I bet you someone in the chat know that. Hi, the wine cellar. Every time you come in, I love that because you say, hi, humans. There's a girl that I watch on YouTube. She says that, and I love that girl. She does videos on, like, creepy stuff. A little different than what we do here. I mean, not really. I was listening to this, and I thought that we would just kind of, like, listen to it because I thought it was kind of almost sad. So before I play it, like, you're going to hear, like, I'd only listened to, like, a little part of it, and then I paused it, but it's about the house being demolished. And so I thought we would go over that, but I guess as the workers are there, like the people that are cleaning the home right now, they were playing a song, and now I can't remember the song. It's like an 80s song, 70s, 80s song. But it was just kind of sad that you could hear the music coming from the house, but like the like, you know, it's boarded up. So I thought I'd play it because I was like, oh, that's just sad. Imagine if he said he was on a Tinder date. Oh my gosh, Ivy, oh my Lord. I was I would be like, where's the proof? Give us the receipts, Bryan. Hey, MJ. Oh, is he done with his live? I was about to just check because I was gonna play this video. I was in the live and I was late to my live, but I told on myself. Actually, I didn't tell on myself. Summer told on me. Summer. She's my mod, so she had to come over here, you know. I had her first. That's funny. I'm glad that you came over, though. He was having a good live. The smaller lives are the best lives, too. You know, and me and him were talking about this last night. Before I play this video, I'll tell you guys. Last night after the live, we were talking about, you know, just me and Bryan over at Let's Talk Live. We were just talking about how if it's not a live about Idaho, we tend to have smaller groups of people in the live. And, you know, we're okay with that. Because, you know, you can get that more intimate conversation. Although we would love to have a million people in our lives. But it's nice as of right now to have those more intimate conversations. So if you guys ever see us live and, you know, we're not talking Idaho, come in anyway. Have a conversation with us. I mean, heck, his live the other night was about a case that's a little bit older. And we had so much fun in that live. He's afraid to say anything because it can be used against him. Yeah, you're right. Well, look at that. Rising from Ashes is coming over too. Well, that's so sweet. Don't tell him I'm over here talking real bad about him. Don't do that. That'd be so mean. Because then what if he thought I really was? Drunk Turkey had a corner on the internet. It was interesting. Really? What? Had a corner on the internet. Good evening, Detective John. How you doing? Hey, L Beam. Wait, I don't know what you mean. Had a corner on the internet. I'm so confused at life. Okay, I'm gonna play this video. I thought it was kind of sad, but I didn't watch all of it. It's only 3 minutes, so I'll play it real quick. Let me turn up the volume for you guys.
Other top stories, disaster recovery teams are clearing out the Moscow home where 4 University of Idaho students were killed last year.
But KREM 2 News has learned some of the families of the 4 homicide victims are not happy about the university's plan to tear down the house on King Road.
Shannon Mouty spent the day in Moscow and spoke with the attorney for one of those families about why this may hurt more than heal.
KREM 2 News first told you back in February the owner of this house gave it to the University of Idaho so it could be torn down. The university has now started that process against the wishes of some of the victims' families. We're used to relative quiet at the home on King Road. But Thursday, a radio played behind the boarded up walls as a disaster crew packs up the items left behind. University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle were killed in the house in November 2022.
They anticipate it will take them a couple of weeks to get all the personal items out.
Jody Walker with the University of Idaho says the prosecution and defense for the man accused of the murders agreed to release the house to the university.
To demolish before school starts, yes.
Fall classes begin August 21st. The suspect in the murder case is expected to go to trial in October.
It's the largest piece of evidence in the entire case.
That's why Shannon Gray, attorney for the Gonzalez family, says his clients are upset a critical piece of the puzzle may be lost.
The families feel like it should be left there until the trial is over.
There's fear, he says, it could still hold necessary evidence or help jurors visualize the case better than photos or 3D models.
If there's any evidence that's brought up in trial that, has to do with vantage points or how you can hear something or how you can see something or entry points or exit points.
In a letter obtained by CREM 2, an attorney for the university acknowledged the Gonzalez's, Mogans, and Kernodles don't want the house torn down before the case is resolved. But attorney Kent Nelson adds the university needs a legal reason before considering delaying demolition. Does the university have a response to the family's concerns?
The university's been in contact with the families since we took over the ownership of the house in the spring.
The university says leveling the house will be healing for students, the Moscow community, and the victims' loved ones.
It's not healing for the families. And they're the ones that had their children murdered. Okay. I'm not sure how the university could take their wishes over those of the victims' families.
Right now, Gray says he's not considering taking legal action to stop the demolition. Walker tells me a demolition date will be set later, but the house on King Road is expected to come down before the semester starts. In Moscow, Shannon Moudy, CREM 2 News.
Sorry, I was trying to hook up my earphones really quick. And then I have to hook up my mic. Because I didn't realize I didn't have my mic hooked up last night, guys. Over on Bryan's live. I don't know what headphones I have in. Those are the wrong ones. Oh, Janet. I saw your comment today on, I think it was Zap Girl's channel. Or on her sorry about your loss. I didn't know it was, I don't, for some reason, I didn't know it was that recent. Or maybe I did, but that's so recent. I'm trying to hook up my AirPods really quick, sorry. Give me just a moment. It's being really crazy. And then I can bring Bryan up. How many AirPods are enough? Or too many? Okay, let me try this one. Let's see. I think that might have worked. Did that work?
Ooh, hello.
Hello? Did that work? Let me see if my...
I'm here now.
Okay, let's see. Okay, my head... Or my... Okay, let me turn my mic up a little bit. There we go. I just have to get this to connect. For some reason, I don't know what AirPod I have in my ear. I have to take the case off. Oh my gosh, guys. I have them like marked, but they're... It's underneath of a case, of course it is. Okay, disconnect.
This is weird being on this kind
There
of.
we go. On that side?
Yeah, it's weird.
Welcome, Bryan, in everybody. Sorry it
Hey.
took me a minute to get that.
It's
I
all
know
right.
These
Take
things
your
are
time.
these things have like little charms on them, so of course they're
Yeah, yeah.
super loud. I was gonna take those off earlier, and I was like, oh, they're fine. There we go. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, you were over supporting my stream earlier, and I finished mine, and I said, "Hey, everybody's got to head over and support Tanya." And I was like, "Let's go over and hang out." So I sent everybody over.
Like, no, you literally did. Everyone was coming in. They're like,
Good.
we just came from Bryan. We just came
Good.
from Let's Talk Live. And I was like, oh, go over there and tell him we're talking real bad about him over here. And I was like, wait, don't tell him that. I was like, just JK. I was like, because I don't want, anyone to be like, oh, she was just talking bad about you. And then you to think, I know you wouldn't think that I was, but
No.
I was like, I could just see it now.
No.
But yeah, make sure you're following Bryan. And you need to get up to 10,000 subscribers too.
both
You're
do.
almost there.
We both
You're getting
do.
close. Yeah.
You're almost there. I want to see
I
you hit it.
know.
You've been
For
working
some-
hard.
For some reason, I thought I was at like, instead of 9,600, in my head, I was seeing 6,900. And I was like, Vincent, I almost have 10,000 subscribers. He's like, yeah, you've been talking about it. Like, right? And I'm like, no, it didn't hit me until the other day, like yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was seeing, because I'm like so dyslexic with numbers. I didn't I knew I was close to 10,000. I knew I had 9,000, but in my head I was still seeing the 6,000
Yeah.
because it did the last few thousand went by quick.
I just passed 73.79 today, so
That's
I
awesome.
got my sub counter over there.
I know I need to get me something like that. I had one. I was like a little bored. I'd put the little letters on, and I was terrible at doing that. So I was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that anymore.
So what do you got going on tonight? What's going on?
So basically, we were going over, while we were going over things that were going on in the YouTube streets, regarding a case that we kind of had covered. There was a girl that was putting out autopsy photos
Oh,
with
oh yeah, I
her
heard something about
Patreon.
that.
Did you hear? Yeah, so we went over that in the
Yeah.
beginning because a lot of people haven't heard about it. I was surprised. More people didn't hear about it. And, as a content creator myself, I knew that if they had seen it, they knew I saw it. So I was like, I
Yeah.
need to address what's going on. And, I don't agree with it because we covered the Gannon Stauch case on this
Right.
channel. And then we went into Idaho and they had papers that came out tonight, new documents.
Oh,
So basically, they have a stay for Bryan Kohlberger for right now for the proceedings for 37 days. He's got like a 37-day grace period, where if they need to tack that on October 2nd, they can. But as of right now, everything's still going according to plan. Everything's still October 2nd, still the plan. What else did they say? They said that the stay will run from July 6th until August 1st. But it's weird because they just said that they would put it on at the end in October, and have them run then. So I don't know
Yeah.
why they worded it like that. But they also, what else did they do?
you said they were
Oh,
giving
so
it's given some time for his alibi, 14
so
days.
yeah, so
Wow.
Kohlberger has until July 24th, yep, to produce his alibi. And I swear, we better hear about it because I said I'm going to dress up that day. I'm gonna sit here for the whole day until from 11 o'clock because that's Eastern Standard Time when he'll be in court. I don't know what time he's going in for
Right.
sure, but it does say though August 18th we saw that he had a hearing, defendant's motion hearing, at 10:30 a.m. So and I don't know what that's
So
for.
what
If that's for this or what.
So what happens if he doesn't give an alibi? What
It just
what-
goes on as
on the case in the case.
Yeah, it just goes on as usual, like court proceedings as usual. I was telling the chat, I know of a couple cases where the defendant would flee. They fled, like the country, and they tried an empty chair because they weren't there to try the person.
Wow.
So they were like, well, you're not here. Just kind of like Kohlberger, he's standing silent. He may just sit silent in that chair. And
Yep.
I guess that's his right, but shit. I want to hear what's going on.
I want to hear
need
his
to know.
alibi. I want to
wanna
hear
know
the
his-
alibi.
6 months we've been waiting to hear something from him.
Yeah.
Like a good we're going on 8 months now. It was 6 weeks after, he got arrested about 6 weeks after.
Yeah.
We've been just wanting to hear just something. We've heard him, maybe he said, was anyone else arrested? But we didn't hear that from him. He never spoke in court other than yes. He's aware of the, yes, that was it. And, wasn't
Yeah.
even a full sentence. So I would love to know his alibi.
Yeah, me too. I was very, very curious to hear his version of the events. And I what do they do? What do they say? It's just
Exactly. Well, because they're, and we were talking about in the chat, like they're attacking the officers right now. They're trying to attack the people,
Yep.
the officers. Let's just be real. And I think they were going to try to attack the DNA, but I don't know if they would really how they're going to attack it.
I don't
Other
either.
than try to for the people that, other than attack the way they got it, but they can't even really do that because they got a direct hit.
Right.
Like all in all, they got a direct hit, and I think
Right.
they said that to give them all the records for the genealogy, they would physically have to put his DNA back into the database. And I think if they did that, it could mess something up, or I don't know how they explained it, but I was trying to it was on one of the many documents that we read, but that they didn't want to have to put it back in because after you get your hit, you take the DNA profile out of the system. So
Right. Yep.
they took it out, and then that's when
Right.
it didn't generate any paperwork or any more
Right.
paperwork. I think it's very hard to understand for me. But thank you for becoming a member, Rising from Ashes.
Say you
Oh,
got a
look
new
at that.
member.
I do. I love that. We had so many members the other night. Someone came in here and dropped 20 memberships and then just peaced out. I don't know
Wow.
who it was. I was
Oh,
like,
that's so cool
well,
though.
thank you. That was like, because
Yeah,
it was
right.
someone that never chats. And so, because
Yeah.
like, I never heard the name. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Thank you. Like, I was like, oh my
So
Lord.
Janet says that that person
So,
that was dropping the photos, her Patreon's now gone. Wow, right?
oh, the whole Patreon?
Wow. And I think she had a lot of
Because,
subscribers too.
yeah, well, I heard that the videos were down right before I came into your live. I watched Jules of All Trades. She had a video came out about it, and
Sure.
she said that the Patreon came down, or I mean her
Oh, okay.
video. She took her videos down, but I didn't realize her whole Patreon was gone. She
Wow.
literally was getting canceled. I mean, everybody was doing lives on
Oh,
her
I'm
left
sure.
and
Yeah.
right because they were. I mean, it's insanity. I couldn't imagine doing that. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to be near that. And I was, involved in this case. I was every day we talked to Letitia Stout.
Yeah.
What'd she do today in court? Let's watch her. We watched the trial, and I would never, ever a day in my life. And I don't have kids even, and I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
because
it's
I
a
don't have kids.
super sensitive case,
It's so sensitive. And that's what I said in my chat. I said that was the most sensitive that I've ever been with a case was with him. I cried a lot because that little boy was shot, stabbed, beat, burnt,
Yeah.
thrown away in a trash or in a suitcase for 2 months in Florida. I mean, it's crazy. But and that's why I was telling people too, because our platform's so big, and a lot of times, and just like in true crime, even with the Idaho case, and you'll be able to contest to this, but people will come out with the craziest shit that's just untrue or it's ungodly what they've come up with, like the scream. That was, the guy with the fake audio with the scream in the Idaho case.
Yeah.
He had that huge platform, and it's these bigger people with these bigger platforms. People think that they take their word, not meaning Zav but just they take the word, and it's just I don't know. It's been crazy. Lately, I kind of lost my train of thought because I started reading
It's
the
all
chat.
right.
But no, what I was going to say was like people will make all these mistakes and then they're not held accountable.
Right.
It's like people like they don't go and unsubscribe because they want to see what happens next almost. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's why they don't do it because they're like, well, what if something happens? I want to see it. But it's like these people cannot have these huge platforms. Like she almost has 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And and the parents didn't even know about it. Like, and they had to hear that from a YouTuber. Like that their son's autopsy was even out there. Like they didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, and that's what I talk about, like even on my channel, that's what I talk about is the sense of like, as a creator, you have to be, like when you lay your head down at night, are you okay with that decision? It just shows the lack of judgment in people. And that's
Yep.
why I keep a straight channel. You keep a straight channel. We don't get into the major conspiracy theory garbage because I have to know, and I'm going to tell your audience, my bed is literally right there. And I
Yeah.
have to know that when I get off stream, that I can lay my head down and feel good about the things that I said on stream. Because I would never want that said about my family,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I mean, my dad was killed in a car accident and I was 22 years old. And I
Sorry.
couldn't imagine thank you. And I couldn't imagine seeing his autopsy
Yeah.
report or paper, or photos or anything like that. I would be, my head would be flying off my shoulders if that,
Right.
I couldn't imagine Landon and Al, Gannon's parents, how they feel. Cause this was the stepmother that killed their son, And so it's, man, they're
I
just
can
now
see it. I can
healing.
smell a lawsuit coming. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the people need to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
It needs to stop. That's just crazy talk. I mean,
I'm sorry.
oh man.
I was going to say, and that's
Detective
why,
John said greed overtakes one's ability to be human, and you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
and that's why I tell people, when we discuss this Idaho case, and I urge these creators, and I say it all the time, be very careful what you're saying, because I know for a fact, I've had people email me that the families watch these streams, and believe
Yep.
me, they're taking notes.
Oh,
Be
absolutely.
very, very careful what you say,
Yeah.
because when
And
this
I know.
trial
Oh, I
concludes,
know.
there could be a
And I'm
lawsuit.
sure. Yeah, because I know that like I'm on the Gonzalez's like Facebook page, and
Yeah.
I've wrote
Yep. I
them,
follow
and
them.
I've like their stuff. So I'm sure that they have seen me and been like, okay,
Sure.
who's this person, and checked me out. because I'm sure that they checked out every single person
Of course
that's
they have.
come into their life, you know, even if they've got 25,000 subscribers or people that
Right.
follow them, they probably vetted each and every one of us, and they probably have checked out the channels, and I hope that they do, and I hope they check out ours. I
Yeah,
hope they
of
see
course.
these channels that are not bashing the victims, not bashing the survivors,
No.
sticking to the facts. I hope that the other channels aren't flooding and overtaking, you know what I mean, so much, because I couldn't imagine seeing and reading some of the stuff I've seen and read about this case online. That's been untrue.
Yeah,
And you
it's
don't
just
think it's untrue when you're in that moment. If you're a hurting family, you think this, what? Is this
yeah.
true? Is this not true? You don't know. And then no one will answer you because no, everyone's following that creator and they're like, yeah, this is true. And I mean, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. And it's just, you have to, that's the thing is you have to look at it in the sense, I learned, I had a very good teacher in high school. I went to a trade school and I took auto body repair. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's, you get a car accident, you bring it to a shop and they repair your car via body work. Okay.
That's what my
So,
niece does. She did that at
oh,
a
cool.
trade school. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took auto body, and the first thing that our teacher ever said to us before we even touched anybody's car in that shop, he looked at us and said, treat this car as it is your own car. And that's the way that you
Yeah.
have to treat these families. Treat these families as the way that if they're your own family. Would you want that stuff said about your family? No.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you
So
would not. No, I agree with you 100%. Like that's what I mean, I guess it's just my spirit or something I just cannot even fathom. You know, and we could come up with some
you're a good person.
conspiracy shit, you know? We
course.
could do that. But there's I mean, we want to grow our channels in a
Positive.
positive, and
Yeah.
we want like substantial growth. We don't want
Yeah.
just people in here that are only going to be here for one case and then they're out. Because like what
Right.
happens if when this concludes is everyone going to still like true crime? Y'all better still like true crime. We'll be tracking you down. I got Summer.
Yes,
She's a
we'll be
detective.
tracking you.
How was your stream tonight? You guys did it over Grant. What was his last name? I can't remember.
Grant
his name.
Amato. So we did the Grant Amato interrogation. I like to go back and look at, just back at some interesting cases. So we did the Grant Amato interrogation. It took us 3 nights to get through that because it's a 4-hour interrogation. But it was smaller streams. My crew was in there. We're having a lot of fun. And I always think that when we have those smaller streams, a lot more people just kind of relax and open up. So we have that going on. And then tomorrow during the day at noon, I'm going to start doing the trial. So we're going to do I think it was a 9-day trial. So we're going to do all parts of the trial. And then later on that evening, I want to talk about, I can't remember her last name. Is it Alexa or Olivia?
Alexi Trevinos.
Yes. In New Mexico. We're going to have that
I
show
thought about
tomorrow
covering
night.
that too.
It's tough.
I
It's
saw
gonna be a
your
tough
live on that, and people in the chat the other day said they wanted me to cover that one, and then the Rudy case that just came out with the boy. Well, he's not a little boy; he's a man now, but that one is so
Interesting.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, where do I even start?
Mhm.
Because I'm like, man, this was one that you need to really cover from the beginning, but we'll get caught up.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday morning, I'm doing a live over on Crime Lines and Lies.
Nice.
And then my friend Brittany, that she's on the platform. She does streaming later at night around.
Sure.
Actually, she's on probably right now, 10:30 or 11. And she asked me if I wanted to do a panel with her. She was actually the first person I ever went on panel with when I started my channel. And I was so small and I was so scared. I was terrified. And she was so sweet to me and was like very, very patient and just sweet. And so I was like, of course, I'll return the favor now. Because, she's like, will you do a panel with me? And I'm like, yeah, of course I will. So I was like, you helped me out. So.
Christy's asking in the chat. She said, I beg that you two go over the Alexi T case, please. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do it tomorrow. You're welcome if you want to come over.
Where are you going to start? Where are you starting at? Are you starting at like the beginning? Like
I always start at the
hospital?
beginning.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that they have that hospital video. I don't think it's too long either. I don't think it's
like
real
15
long.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna build up and do some of it. I might have to split it into a couple different streams, but I want to get everybody caught up on the case. You know, because there's other content out there right now, and there's other cases that need attention, you know, beyond the Idaho case.
Yeah.
And this is why I encourage people, you know, just listening tonight, you know, all the other off content that we do, you know, Tanya does, I do. It doesn't mean that they're bad shows, because those actually turn into be the better shows,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
And like I even said, like me personally, I put more of myself into those newer videos because
yeah,
you have to in a way because you're doing research from the beginning. So, you know, those are the ones that we're really putting our like because I mean Idaho, we're putting ourself in there, but we
yep,
know the backstory now.
right.
So we're that far ahead. You know what I mean? Like we've actually read the PCA a few times.
A million times.
A million. Oh wait, I forgot I was doing a earlier I did a poll. Let's see what the polls.
Oh
I
yeah.
always forget to close out the polls.
What do you got?
I put, do you think Bryan will produce an alibi by the 24th? 67% said no, 33% said yes.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, no, I just changed to 34. But yeah, if you're
Wow.
part of the 34%, let us know what you think his alibi is
Yeah.
going to be. Because I really want to know. I mean, what could you say? Like, what can he say? What can he. I'm one of those people, I want to
Well,
know
I
things.
mean,
I'm trying to think of like.
is it, you know, hey, I went over there to visit one of the people, and a bunch of kids ran in and it got out of hand. You know, I don't know. Like, what do
Yeah.
you say? You know,
Yeah.
what do you say? I think Detective John, we were talking about it actually last night on the panel. He had a good, like, the alibi that he thinks that he's going to produce.
Hmm.
You know, we were talking about it, but I forget what he said. He might type it in the chat. I know it's in the chat. So
Oh, I bet there was something good too. I mean, because
yeah,
what we were talking about last night was making sense. I was like, oh, I never thought about that before.
yeah, yeah. But
I was like, I've been going
what do
this
you
way.
say? I mean, do you say something like, you know, the reason maybe my DNA is in there? I went and visited. You know, I was at a party a couple of weeks before that. I mean, how does that, you know, what do you say?
That's well, when we were talking about exculpatory evidence and stuff, like Bethany having exculpatory evidence that's going to set
Right.
Bryan free. I've been trying to think of what could that be. And do you remember the body cam footage where the cops go up to the house and everyone's there drinking, but nobody lives there that's drinking.
Right.
Like they're like, no one's here that lives here. So the only thing I could, in my head, I was thinking, what if they tried to use that as like, can you two for sure say that Bryan Kohberger was never in your home? Because
Right.
they under oath they couldn't, because they can go back to that video.
Sure.
Even though in my heart and in my mind, I think that they were in there. I think it might have been Xana or maybe Ethan, even though he didn't live there. But I think it was one of the girls I'm sorry, like Dylan, Bethany, Ethan, or Xana. All four of them were underage. And I think that they all four could have been there. One
Right.
of them were, you know, and they didn't want to go to the door because they're like, I'm underage, call Maddie.
Right.
Like, I would have done the same damn thing when I was
Yeah.
in my 20s, you know, like get
Yeah.
someone that's of age to
Yeah.
talk to the cop.
Go out and quiet
So,
them down. Right.
but that's the only thing I could think of. Like, it would, I mean, that he could even say she had exculpatory evidence.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something as far as the way that she was interviewed. It could be the way maybe she saw something that, you know, the way evidence was gathered, the way, you know, we know that there were multiple people over there before the police got there. It could be something to do with that. You
Yeah.
know, did maybe items were moved around the house? I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. But, you know, all those things would make sense to me too, that maybe she saw or heard something that was questionable or whatever. I mean, I don't know. You know,
It
that's
makes
the mystery
sense,
of
yeah.
all of this. We don't
Yeah.
know.
We don't know that. And that's where all the, you know, speculation comes from.
Right.
Because even in my like comments today, I posted a video and I mean, I was like, that's not true. And I'm like, where are
Yeah.
you finding this stuff? So I keep asking, I'm like, who's telling you this? Instead of like, where are you finding it? I'm like, who's telling you this?
Right.
And because I'm like, this is some of the stuff I was hearing was just kind of crazy.
It's been crazy. I mean, it brings out a lot of emotion in people, and it's just, I think what has happened with this case is because it's been so highly publicized. You know, I think a lot of normal, I say normal people, like we're all normal, but I'm saying normal people
Mm.
that probably wouldn't get into true crime or watch true crime. Maybe they've flicked through the station, they've seen the first 48, but they're like, they just go past
Yeah.
it. Me, when I see that show, I'm like
I
lasered
have
in
been
watching.
my poor mother. First 48. Oh my poor mother. I would watch it. It would come on A&E from like 9 a.m. till 6. When I started like living with back at my mom's after my car accident, and we watched every episode. I've seen every episode since it came out in like 2004 or 2006 or something crazy, like way
Right.
back. And I love that show. It tells you all about like police work and what they do to catch
Right.
people. If you guys have never seen it, it's a good show. It's on A&E. Just like to help you show what the first 48 hours of an investigation truly
Yeah.
look like.
So, I think what happened was because it was so highly publicized that it brought in a bunch of people that would never pay attention to true crime. But the thing is that when you bring in a bunch of people that get into maybe a new genre of something that might interest them, they don't really know. So they're just kind of throwing theories and just all this different, these different things out there that just doesn't make sense. And that's where you're getting a lot of this clouded information.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A&E, what does it mean? I forget.
Oh God, I don't know. What's that mean? I'll Google
But
it.
but I think that's what I was gonna do. I think what's his name owns it, or no, he doesn't own A&E.
Turner?
I was thinking of the guy that used to be on that PD show, Live PD. He owns
A&E
News
stands for
Nation.
accident and emergency. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
Accident.
I never knew that.
No, wait.
I mean, that makes sense, kind of,
Hang
I
on.
guess. But
What does A&E?
arts and entertainment. That's what Terry
That's
said,
it.
or Terry D said.
Arts and Entertainment Network. I was wrong. Someone
I
was
was like, oh,
asking
that's a
if I
good
was
one.
married. What was that? I saw in the chat.
Oh,
No, I'm not. I'm not married.
who? Oh, yeah.
Someone was saying something about me being married.
She said that Bryan is kind of hot. Is he married? CJ, he is not married, and I like.
I'm not married.
I love that. Is he married? Not even is he seeing anyone? Is he married?
Kinda.
I
Come
love
on.
that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because that sounds like
I'm
something like
embarrassed.
back like when I was younger. When I was younger, my mom would say something like that. But you're not married,
Yeah,
But
right.
but are you married?
I'm not married. I have no kids, and I have no crazy ex-wives. So,
Oh, look at that! Check, check, check.
and I'm not with anybody right now. I am single.
Look at see now he has all the time for us.
Uh-oh.
He has all the time to stream. Don't
Yeah.
let when he says I'm off work for the day. Say nope, not anymore.
The first 48. Yeah, it's such a great show. I like.
It is.
What was the other one too? The Intervention is great. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just real. The real, the
actually,
raw there. It's crazy.
We played. This is an old show, but it came out about the same time. First 48 did it. It was only on for a couple seasons, but it was called Crime 360. And
Okay.
there's some places that still play it, but they go in and they do 3D scans of crime
cool.
scenes, and it shows you
Right.
the backside of that. So it's like an older show, but it's definitely worth the watch. I've seen every episode probably 3 times or 4 times. We played one of the episodes, like part of it, on a live one night, so I could show people what the cameras looked
Right.
like back then compared to what they look like now, and
Right.
it was a good show.
Did you get flagged for it, or they let you do it?
Well, they like wanted to share part of the revenue,
Got it.
but I think that they ended up releasing it, so it wasn't real bad or anything. Like to where
Okay.
But
Right.
no, yeah, it was a good show. It's on. I don't know what channel it's on anymore, but it's on one of the streaming services, I'm sure.
Cool. I like that Chris Hansen's back now. He's got some show on a channel called True Blue, and he goes out and does those predator catches. And
He's doing
like,
them again.
oh yeah,
I'm
and it's
Chris
great.
Hansen.
He's
Oh
like,
my! I grew up on that show.
he'll come in, why don't you have a seat over there?
Well, there was one guy on that show, Catch a Predator, and he was eating a chocolate chip cookie. He had gotten the tea, he had gotten the cookie, he was ready. And here comes Chris Hansen, and he goes, "Oh man, I don't even want this cookie anymore." And I've lost my life when
Or there's the
when that
one-
episode.
There's the one when the predator guy goes in to hug the decoy, and he comes out and goes, "What? No hug for me?"
Well, and they had like the guy. There was one guy like in the garage that was like naked. He showed up like nude or
yeah.
something. Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Oh, we loved that show, girl. Like I grew up. I lived with like 3 or 4
love that show.
correction officers at one point, and there's just like me. Like, I had like a bunch of like my guy friends. They were like, we needed someone to move in, so there I was. We
Yeah.
all would watch that show, and we would just laugh so hard.
Brooke says, I wish America's Most Wanted would come back with John Walsh. I would love for that to come back. I know.
Well, John Walsh has that other show on IB.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's not the same. But
It's
I mean,
not.
his son's walking in his footsteps, which I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Callan,
Yep.
he came back only on YouTube for a while. Doodle said it.
Yeah, I wish
I'm trying to
I
read
wish
some
they
of
would do that. That was a great show. That started in like the very early 80s.
I wish
mean, I
Unsolved
remember-
Mysteries would come back with a full force. Not this, I will give you like a Hulu special. I want Robert Stack resurrected from the grave. I want his voice.
Yeah,
Like
his voice is
I
great.
skipped so much school because of that show. My
Yeah.
mom was like, she stopped arguing with me. She's like, you're sick every day. And I said, yeah, at 11 o'clock I am.
They did one in my town many years
wow.
ago about a gravestone that glowed. Yeah,
Oh,
you can probably
wow.
look it
I
up.
probably saw it.
I'll
I
send
know
you
I
the
saw
information
it.
on it.
Yeah. I'll say I
Yeah.
probably saw it, especially if it's one of the older episodes. Those freaked me out as a kid because I was young when they came
Yeah.
out, but I still watched them.
And that gravestone from where I live now is probably like 10 minutes up the road. And we used to go there like to try to see if it was glowing. And we'd be out there and like everybody's like, do you see it? Do you see it? It's glowing. And we'd be down
had
in
a
the
place like
graveyard
that.
and literally it would be like midnight and the cops would roll through and we'd run into the woods and like try to hide and they'd be shining their spotlight and everything. Oh yeah.
That's so funny. There was somebody that was going to stream Unsolved Mysteries, I thought, on their platform. I thought it was publicly buzzed or something.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that's a good idea because I love that show, but then I don't think
Yeah.
they ever did it.
Yeah, you might get whacked
Might
for it.
get,
That's
yeah.
why.
Maybe I'll write them
'Cause I
and
was
say,
gonna
hey.
do the To Catch a Predator stuff, but they won't. They'll nail you.
Oh yeah,
They'll
like
take it
anything that
down.
goes through like ABC, NBC, it's
Yeah.
very like.
take you down.
Well, they took my stream down one night. We were playing like, it was actually ID. It was we had done the 2020 episode. I had done like I had gotten away with murder over here pretty much like with the shows. Like literally, I did 2020. I think we did Dateline even, and not Dateline. I don't think, but there was another one. What's
Dateline,
the
they
other
won't
one?
let you. They'll shut
2020
you down.
48 hours. That's what 28
Okay.
or 2020
24.
48 hours. I know there's so many hours there. And then so many numbers. And then we did Roku has a documentary on Idaho of all things.
Interesting.
Roku channel.
I've never seen
And we
that.
watched that one too. I was like, we watched them all. So they didn't get me until I think it was the ID one we were going to play one night. I did like a full hour live before we played this episode too, and we were in for like 3 seconds, and it's that background music is what gets you when they're talking.
Yeah.
That music that nobody knows the words. There's no words. It's just elevator music. That's what they zap you on.
Yep.
I'm like, are you kidding? No one knows what this is.
Yep.
They're talking. We're
It's
not
because
listening to
it's
the
all
music.
copywritten and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, so they cut my stream, but what happened was if you ever get your stream cut off like that,
It'll come back.
it'll come back. Like the first time that happened, I was like, what happened? It was like it just like cut my stream down, and I just like left. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then this happened, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay in here because I know it's gonna let me. As soon as this like goes off, it'll bring my chat back. So I was like, just stay in here, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, it's funny too because if you go back and watch the stream, you're kind of just sitting there like, okay, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't do that.
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh, Joe Kenda, I love him. He was on ID for a long time. He did like 400 and some murder cases. Homicide Hunter, was it the guy from Homicide
Oh
Hunter?
yeah.
The older guy? Yeah, he's like literally the old man version of me. He like he said in one of the episodes one day, he was like, I only eat because I have to. Like because he had to talk about stopping and eating, and I was like, that's me. Like that's totally me. I'm always doing something. I'm like so fast, with things. It's just craziness.
It's funny. I'm just reading your chat.
Okay.
Someone's going to bed, I think. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, Jan's going to bed.
Oh, Jan, okay. Oh, good night. Thanks, Jan, for being here and modding it up. She's getting so good at that. She's my newest mod.
Oh,
But
nice.
she's
Well, welcome.
she's one of one of the greatest people ever. She when the 166 documents dropped in the Kohlberger for Kohlberger, there was was it Kohlberger or was it maybe it was Delphi. It was one of the cases, but I was like, I don't know where it's at. I couldn't find it. And she's like, drop the link, Tanya. I'm just going to come up and show you. And I'm like, that's why I love you. Because there's people like, you'll have people in your chat and they'll say, Tanya, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And I'm like, send me the
Right.
link. Like, where is it? And no one will answer me. And I'm like, somebody answer me. Because I'm one of those frantic people. Like, and they're like, they probably just haven't been able to type it out yet. So she's
Right.
quick. She's like, just let me come up there and physically show you. I was like, I love that about you.
So Lucy's asking you a question.
Yeah.
A good
if
one
he doesn't
too.
give an if he doesn't give an alibi, what are they going to do? Arrest him? Well,
That's a good one.
I love that. Lucy on the go. Well, they can't really arrest him. I guess
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think they just go on with court proceedings just as usual, and they just.
We're just going to the
now
record. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if we're going to even see the alibi because of the gag order.
Right.
Like, you know, they've redacted and taken out a lot of, Exhibit A's and stuff. So I'm wondering. I mean, I feel like as the public, we should know. That's something we should know. Like, give us that bone, throw us that one. You know what I mean? Like, because that'll let us know. I think that'll let people know if he's guilty, more guilty, or not, more not guilty. If he produces an alibi, everyone that says he's not guilty, they'll all continue to think that, and then everybody that thought he was guilty, we're all gonna have to be reassessed. If he
Yeah.
comes out with some awesome alibi, but if he doesn't come out with an alibi at all, maybe that will help center everybody again in this case and get us back to like, okay, maybe they do have the right person. Because I mean,
So-
I think that they're on the right track.
John's asking if you wanted him to come on for a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure. I dropped the link in there. I
Drop
don't know
the
if you
link in
saw
the
it.
chat. Yeah,
Yeah, here.
He just texted me. He goes, "Do you all want me to
Oh
come on?"
yeah,
come
that's
hang
why I
out.
dropped it in there. I didn't know if I thought I saw it, and then I didn't see him for a minute, so I didn't know if he was still in the chat.
I'm just gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course.
He'll probably jump on.
Okay. So, thank you guys all for being here while we're waiting on everybody to come back. I said he had a Tinder date, Ivy said. Ivy, you might be right. Were you his Tinder date, Ivy? Where were you? Where were you on November 13th between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m.? But man, what if he does come up with a... I mean, well, I don't know what you could come up with, but Bryan made a pretty valid point when he said, if he said he was in the house. Probably she had good birthing hips. That poor girl. Do you think if you were on a date with Bryan Kohberger, would you come out and admit to that? I wonder if I would. Would I admit to that? I don't think I would. Ivy said I'm 45 years old. So's Bryan. I didn't know that until the other day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought he was my age.
I'm an old man.
You make me feel young.
I'm an old man.
No, when I heard you were 45, I said, nuh-uh. I said, no, he's not. Because, you know, not 45 is not old or anything. I hate when people say, you look good for 50 or you look good for, and I'm like, that's young, y'all. Like, that's still
You know what
really
it
young.
is? I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. Maintained a healthy diet. Drank a lot of water. Always put lotion on my face like my mom told me to. And I work out.
Yes.
That's the secret.
That's the key. That's the secret.
Right. I didn't smoke too, because smoking will give you a
Yeah.
lot of wrinkles.
Yes, it will. Hold on one second. I'm going to go grab this
Yeah,
in the
take your
shirt.
time. Take your time. So, welcome to the TitaniumBuilt YouTube channel. We need to get Tanya to 10,000 subscribers. And if you're first time in the chat, make sure to subscribe, turn on that bell notification so every time she goes live or drops new content, you guys will know. And if you want to support the channel anyway, you can send a super chat down there below. You hit that little money sign, send a super chat, or you can go down and click the See Perks button, and that will get you to join a membership where you will see all her members only content. It's really, really good stuff. You need to subscribe. You need to do that. So that was my advertisement for Tanya. We're going to get her to 10,000. We're going to get her to 10,000. Definitely need to get to 10,000. Everybody, I can't pull chats up because I don't have the control. It's weird on this side. I'm kind of like in the house, so I don't get that opportunity. But definitely, let's get her to 10,000 subscribers, you know, and go down there and smash that like button if you haven't, because we want to get to, let's do this. If we get to 200 subscribers, I will gift out, we will get to 200 likes. I'll gift out a membership. So, yeah, keep smashing that like button. Let's get her to 200 likes on this stream.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll gift out a membership. Or let's do this. We'll get it to 175. We can get it to 175. I will gift out a membership. It's free to hit that like button. Believe me. Did you hear my advertisement for you?
I did. I loved it. I loved it. I was like, oh, that's such a good advertisement. I was like, man, you're hired. That's what I need. I'll have you come in during the trial, and you could be when I need a break, because we were talking about the trial today, how it might be at night.
I'll do a little spot for you. I'll send you the video, and then you can play it like as a commercial break or something.
Oh, you should. That'd be funny. That would be. Well, because we were talking about like the trial. If they do the trial like they're doing it now, where they're, they're videotaping it live, but it's not getting to us till later. We might not get that tape over on the East Coast till 8:15.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're 3 hours behind.
Yep.
And I'm like, y'all better get your tents ready, camping gear. Because I was like, I'm gonna set up a tent in here just as a joke. With my little, with everything, the whole thing. I'm gonna be like, here I am, I'm ready.
It's like when I did my conspiracy show the other night, I wore a tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. But you're like, it's so hot. And then last night you had that coat on. I said,
I know, I threw the coat on.
He's probably burning up. I was just, because I'm always hot.
Did John?
With the lights.
Did John get on?
No, he didn't. I didn't see him get on. Are you in the chat still, John?
I can throw my glasses on too.
I'll paste it back in there.
Yeah, let me text him and say, yo, the link is there, bro. Because he can talk about some of the stuff we were talking about on my channel the other night. And I'd really love to hear his dog theory again.
Yeah, because you said something about that.
Yeah.
That wasn't the one we were going over? Because that wasn't that one, I don't think. I think that you guys were talking about that one, but we didn't go over it.
Yeah, we didn't go over it on stream, but he could definitely go into that. I am 6 foot tall. I'm 6 foot all the way. Oh, he's not yet. He says he's having difficulties.
That was a question. I'm
not standing up right now because I have boxer shorts on, so it's not happening. It's not happening.
I love YouTube streamers. We don't wear pants.
No, we don't wear pants.
We don't wear pants. I wore sweats for the longest time. I still do. But even in the summer, I was like, Tanya, it's summertime. What are you doing? And I'm like, but I'm comfortable. I'm so comfortable. I wore jeans for so long for work. Like, I would never... We had the option to wear like leggings or something like that, but I was like, you can wear jeans if you can put on leggings. And now I'm like, the fuck you can. I'm trying to be comfortable, especially if you're streaming. But that's what I was going to ask you. So have you heard the new thing about Bryan Kohberger's height and how this couldn't be Bryan Kohberger because he is well over 6'3" or 6'4"? It came out today on Crime Circus's channel, and I don't know how tall Bryan Kohberger is. He does look tall, but everything online says he's 5'8".
No,
and I'm like, he's not 5'8".
No, because the photos that I've seen of him, he has very long legs. He's leggy. He's a leggy guy, and for the weight that he supposedly is at 175, he looks like a pretty muscular guy.
He's very muscular looking.
He was fat. He was overweight before, and he lost all that weight. And when you lose weight and turn fat, what does it do? When you start lifting, it turns into muscle. And he probably naturally should have that runner's type body. But probably with his addictions and maybe some food addiction, stuff like that, he had gained the weight. But I always looked at him as a pretty strong guy. He seems... like that scary strong. Like, you know, those people that you see and you're like, that guy's not strong. And then all of a sudden, like, you're arm wrestling him or something and you're like, holy crap, that guy's strong.
Yeah, no,
So,
he's definitely a big like a big guy. Oh, there's Detective John.
there we go.
There we
Hey
go.
guys, sorry about that.
Yo, man.
I don't know why it wasn't letting me log in. I kept having to try.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, is he okay? Is he back there? I thought maybe I missed you because sometimes I'm like looking the other way, or, you know, on the iPad or something.
Well, I've got a setup. I've got my computer all set up. I'm waiting on some other stuff, but I was going to try and do it through that, but I just had to resort back to my phone until I get that squared away. But anyway, so what's going on?
Sounds fun. Yeah, well, we were just talking. Tonight we went over legal documents over the, you know, Idaho 4 with Bryan. He has a 37-day stay. If he needs it, they can add it on to the end of, like, you know, October and make the trial date a little bit longer if they need the extra time, I guess, to look at the evidence. Oh, this was another thing. So since Bryan Kohberger is so poor and he's using state's, you know, defense for the grand jury transcripts, although the defense is asking for those, not the prosecution. They're not even supposed to really get them. It's all supposed to be kind of secret. They're making the prosecution, the state of Idaho, pay for the grand jury transcripts to be transcribed for Bryan Kohberger. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess maybe it's because it's the state and it's the state's case. And they have the burden of proof. They have to do that. I don't know, because it's a grand jury. I don't know how that works. But they did that. Oh, and then he has till July 24th to come up with his alibi.
Yeah,
Present
that
it.
was what I was going to ask John about. We were talking about what his possible alibi could be, and you had a really good take on that, John. I don't know if you want to run through that again.
His possible alibi,
Yeah.
or the reason why he's not given an alibi.
Well, if you want to hit on both of them,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Well, the reason why he's not given an alibi is because he wants all that cell data. Because remember, once he produces an alibi, he's going to have to back his alibi up.
Right.
So, so if everybody thinks about it, why would you give an alibi right now when you don't even know what the state knows as far as what your movements were? So, when they get that cast info, it's going to lay out every step he took. I mean, down to, you know, the foot. So if he says, of course, you know, he was not there, he was somewhere else, then, you know, he's dead in the water. So that's why the state is that's why the defense is insisting on that info right now, and they want that stay because they want time.
Yep.
So the more time they get, the more likely they are to get what they want.
Yep.
Because this is a huge process, and they're you know, that's if anybody watched the Murdaugh case, I know we talked about it. I mean, that was the single most impressive case I've ever seen in my life.
The
You know,
Alec
it was
Murdaugh
just-
one?
Yeah,
it
was just absolutely. And I'll say it again, if no one's taken time to watch that, the prosecutional end of you know, presenting the evidence when it comes to the cast, man,
We streamed it.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
did a
streamed
video.
some most days. Like when he went on, I had it ready because I was like, he's gonna take the stand. When he went on the stand, we were like ready to go that day.
Yeah,
I did an Idaho stream and kind of played the Murdaugh cast. You can watch. It's an hour and a half. The Special Agent Wolf is the gentleman that testifies, and you got to watch it because you're gonna see the same information in this case, the way that it's presented, and it literally narrows him down to like feet.
And we may get
not only
lucky. I
that-
mean, they may have Xana may have had her phone in her hand when she was on that
Sure.
TikTok app. I mean, she may have recorded something. It's not
Absolutely.
unheard of. I mean, look what happened in Alec Murdaugh. He
Yeah,
didn't.
right.
I was nowhere near Moselle until Paul said from the grave, "No, you were, Dad," and he said,
Yep.
"Oh well, yeah, I was there, I guess." Like his whole story had to change, and it had to change quick.
Yep.
You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for, and you know, I've been out of the game for over a decade when it comes to the technology and how far it's come in a decade. But it's come a long ways. But there's still a lot of the same stuff as far as retrieval and stuff. And I tell you, I'm wondering if how your phones are listening, man. If you're talking about something, if you want to eat some Burger King, something will come up. You say, "Hey, man, I want a Whopper right now." Bam, something will notify you at some point on the phone. It's listening. I mean, it's insane. So I'm wondering if the day is coming when somebody's phone picked up what happened in that house.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying, I don't know if the technology's there, but obviously something's going on, because it's like we're sending messages out every time we talk, and you'll be talking about something and all of a sudden you'll get an email for that, or it's insane to me.
I wasn't
Smartphones.
even talking to Google today, and she was playing she's like, okay, I'm going to play that on YouTube Music. And she started playing music. And I was like, I didn't even ask for a song yet.
Right. But it's insane. I know you guys mentioned earlier that, and I hadn't heard a whole lot about it, but there was some speculation that BK was interviewed and then he lawyered up.
Yeah, I heard a rumor about that it was 11-minute interview with Payne, and then he lawyered up. That's what I heard.
I heard like that same thing, like 15 minutes maybe or something. So that sounds.
I wonder if that was Payne on the plane with him. Did he extradite him back? I don't remember.
That we don't know. We've been trying to figure that one out for a while.
Because
I thought it was all Pennsylvania people, but I guess not, because it had to be someone from Idaho.
It might have been U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals usually handle that.
It was the U.S. Marshals. You're right, because I mean, but I didn't know if anyone would be there from the actual.
But
Idaho
I would think some lead from Moscow would have been there with them, because what a better time to and here's if you can look up a legal phrase. I'll give you the name if you want to look it up and put it on the screen, and it's gonna kind of answer some questions for people. It's called res gestae, RESGESTAE.
John, let me ask you a question real quick. Is it possible that he got to when he was in Pennsylvania, that Payne could have, or someone from Idaho, done a video call and attempted to talk with him, and that's where he lawyered up?
You mean it's like a Zoom or something like that?
Yeah. So say they have him arrested, they have him in the interrogation room or somewhere in the police station, and they can't be there immediately, so they do a Zoom call. And
you'd want to be there, right?
Yeah, I would say no.
No.
You want to be in the I want to be in the room with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a question.
Were you able to look that up? That res gestae?
That's what I thought. I got it. Okay. Yeah. Is it mean like things done? It says the events, circumstances, remarks, etc., which relate to a particular case, especially as constituting admissible evidence in a court of law.
Right. Yeah. If you're able to post that on the screen so everyone can see it.
Yeah.
But if not, it's okay.
Yeah,
okay. So res gestae in a nutshell is okay. So I
arrested Wikipedia right here. There we go. Yeah. I don't know if you could see that or not, but
yeah.
So Bryan, I arrest you.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. You're sitting in we refer to it as the box. That's the interview room. Mm-hmm. All right, no, let's not use that. That's bad enough.
Let me put this back up there.
So I arrest you and I put you in the back of a patrol car. Okay. I haven't Mirandized you or anything because I haven't even told you what you're arrested for. You're just under arrest. So you start talking. I haven't asked you a question. You just start saying things, and you make some spontaneous admission. Okay, that's part of res gestae. And in a court of law, a spontaneous admission is admissible as long as you haven't asked any questions. So a lot of times when I would arrest people, I would put them, would load them up in a paddy wagon or in the back of a patrol car, and I'd go sit in there and just act like I was doing something. And I, you know, if I was if I was a suit and tie at the time, you know, I was in the bureau, I'd just sit there and I wouldn't say a word and just let them start talking.
Yep.
That's a spontaneous admission. So they are admissible in court. Now, once I start, you know, acknowledging that he's saying stuff, then I need to Mirandize him because he's obviously under arrest and he's a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
But those are what I'm getting at here is that 11 minutes. He may
Allegedly.
he may have, if that occurred, he may have made a spontaneous admission.
Got it.
So my theory is too, you know, if he did make some spontaneous admissions, so U.S. Marshals extradited him back. There's rumor or report that he hated to fly. That's why he drove all the way back to Pennsylvania.
I didn't know that.
So,
I figured that. Yeah, I figured that.
Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what came out early on, that he absolutely hated to fly. And that's why his dad came all the way out there, flew all the way out there so they could drive back.
Huh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I was wondering why he would do that.
So if he's petrified of flying, you know, when you're nervous like that, you tend to ramble. So if you're a U.S. Marshal and you're sitting there and Kohlberger just starts running at the mouth, you know what? I don't know what's going on. You know, or he said something that was incriminating, then it could be used against him in court. Yep. I'm not saying that happened.
Right.
I'm just saying,
speculating. Yeah.
That you know, it's a possibility. If there was an 11-minute conversation, that could have been very formal. So basically, if he's put in the box, I call it the box. It's called the box. You know, within law enforcement, when you put somebody in that room that you see where they're always recording them, it's called the box. So you put them in the box and you usually let them sit there and think, and you watch them on video, and you just kind of get a read on how they're acting. You look for body language indicators, and you pop in and out, just kind of say, "Hey, you all right?" Hand them a cup, cup or a bottle of water. Ask them if they need anything. Kind of make them feel at ease. But again, you go back, and I would go back, and I would just stand behind the glass and watch them. You know, and so you get in there, and you sit down, and you engage in a little bit of conversation, and that could have taken 11 minutes, and up until the point where he started asking about the crime.
And that's it.
And then BK said, "Nah,
need a lawyer."
So I think I need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Which knowing what we know about him, I would definitely say that he didn't speak without a lawyer.
Right. Yeah, he probably didn't.
Yeah.
Hasn't said anything so far.
But there is a possibility that he did say something. You know, he did reportedly he did ask if anybody else was arrested.
Yeah.
So that's a res gesti statement. That's a prime example right there. So they hooked him up. They put him in cuffs. They accosted him in the kitchen. From what I heard, you know, when they knocked down the door and came in, he was in the kitchen wearing gloves.
He was. Yeah, he was separating trash.
Separating trash.
Shoes, socks, the whole nine.
Putting it in Ziploc baggies. So, and the first thing allegedly he said was, "Is anybody else arrested?" So people are taking that, you know, different directions. I think he was referring to his dad, you know, because they did, you know, they did knock the front door down in the house or knock it in, you know, on an entry. And there was probably a lot of chaos. Dad was probably screaming. Mom was probably screaming. And
I can only imagine.
You know, he just came back from a long trip, 3,000 miles nearly across the country.
Right.
With his dad, you know, so, you know, that's very
well. That would make sense too, John.
Yeah.
That makes sense because look at you were stopped twice in Indiana, so that's on your mind, you know, you know, and then he's probably throwing that out there to think like, oh, you know, hey, you know, he's trying to play it off like, oh, they're just arresting us because we got stopped in Indiana. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's just, you know what I'm getting at? Like, oh, did anybody else get arrested? Because his dad was with him, you know?
Well, I'm gonna come out and say I'm not buying the fact that everyone's saying that was not, those weren't planned traffic stops. I mean,
I
what are
think
the
they were definitely
chances?
planned.
But
You think they were?
I
Yeah, I think the
100% think
FBI
they
totally
were.
was
Oh,
following up.
because I live over here. Like I live right off of 70. And usually people get pulled over a lot, like because it's a drug hub, like at
Yeah.
one of those like highways. So I figured that's why they got him, because he just was out of state plates. Because that's what I've been pulled over in Indiana so many times
Right.
for out of state plates. It was
Yeah,
like
that
I'll
was
be going on
just,
vacation or something, but it was weird that they did it twice in 15 minutes, and he wasn't following that person. It didn't look like
Right.
very
no,
closely.
it didn't seem like it to me. That was what would be called a pretextual stop. Okay. So a pretext stop is when you have prior information about somebody and you
Yep.
pull them over because of that fact. So
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a
They wanted to get
pretext.
eyes on him. Yeah.
Right. Or a
yeah,
Yeah.
pretextual stop would be a racial profiling. So you know, it's a tactic that's been used by law enforcement. I'm not afraid to talk about it, but you know, they used to profile, and
Yep.
they would
hmm
deny it because it's just, we had a sheriff here named Bob Vogel in Volusia County that was, you know, he was notorious for it. And, you know, they tried to sue him. The
Not good.
NAACP came after him. All kinds of people came after him, but you could never prove it. But, you know, and he wasn't just pulling over, you know, African Americans. He was
Sure.
pulling over
yeah,
white guys with long hair,
Yeah.
driving, driving rentals and things like that. And, you know, he just would profile what, you would kind of look at somebody and try and determine whether they were, I'm not saying it's right. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just part of what they did.
it was what happened back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what
Yep.
happened. And they would
Yeah.
sit under the overpasses with their lights shining across the roadway. So when the cars came by, you could get
You
a
could
good
see
look
who
at
was
them.
in there. Yep.
I'm telling you now, that's what happened. And, you know, then they would, the police would say, well, we did that for safety. Well, yeah, you stayed lit
Yeah.
up, but really it provided two things that they could say. It provided safety, and also we could see the cars go by.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are pretextual stops.
Sure.
okay,
So if you're at a bar and I'm parked out in a parking lot in a patrol car, and I start pulling over people that I see leaving the bar because I want to check if they're drunk, that's a pretextual stop. That's
Got it.
illegal. Can't do that. Now, if you're sitting in the parking lot and Bryan comes, which you don't drink, but hypothetically Bryan comes staggering out, and I'm writing a report, and I see you get in your car and you take off and leave, that's not a pretextual stop.
You can stop me,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Because it's
I mean that's
what is that? It's
right.
just like a suspicion.
Right. I mean that's an element of
Right.
DUI.
Right.
But
Saw them come out. They were
if I'm
stumbling.
if I'm just seeing cars leave a parking lot of a bar and I start pulling them over randomly, that's a pretext stop.
Yeah.
Or, I don't even remember where I was going with that now. Because of the Indiana stops, within 15 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
No way, man. That was a let's feel him out scenario, and let's see how he acts, because we know we're set up on his dad's house and his mom's house, and we want to see how he's going to react. That's what I would do. That's what I would do 100%.
Yeah.
that's
That's what I
true.
thought.
Do you think that he took the weapon and stuff with him to his parents' house, or do you think he probably buried it or got rid of it out there somewhere?
There's so many possibilities there. There was a shovel in his car, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Kill kit.
Yeah, the kill kit. There's so many. Here's one thing that's bothered me about the SW, the search warrant at Pennsylvania, is as far as I know I'm the only one that's brought it up. I brought it up at the very beginning. The number one item listed. Okay, so you're getting a search warrant. You get it signed by the judge. What is the main thing you want to find in a search warrant? If let's say it's a homicide, and let's say it was done with a shotgun. We know it's a shotgun. So when you execute a search warrant, the number one thing you're looking for is the
Murder
method,
weapon.
the method of operation, the murder weapon. Okay. So if you look at, and I don't know, do you have that on file where you can pull up that search warrant from Pennsylvania, from the house?
Let me see.
This is very telling to me, and no one is talking about it. But to me, it's extremely
Are you
weird.
talking about the big one, like the big search warrant, like
The one
The one
from
that
from
lists
his
all the
parents'
evidence
house.
that they collected. I think
Yeah.
I have it. Hang on, Tanya. I'll see if I got it.
Okay.
If I get
And
it, I'll drop it in
Because
the
I
chat.
have it paper. I have like a paper copy of a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
it's handwritten. It's a handwritten property page, evidence
'Cause
page.
if
I
it's
got
the
it.
one that has like the 130 some items, I
Yeah,
have
I'll
it
drop
like
it in the
typed
chat, the
up.
private chat,
Okay.
Tanya. You can bring it up.
Okay, awesome.
It's in the YouTube. It's in the StreamYard private chat. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I
Are you
get to the
talking about
private chat
knife?
from back here?
Yeah.
Oh wait, there
Is
it
that
is.
what you're going to talk about, John? Knife?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one, the number one item out of all the items, and how many items
Knife.
were on that page?
God, I don't know. Over 100.
Okay, so the number one
Rising
item
has it.
and
Knife.
all of the other items
What kind of
are
knife?
described. You've actually got. Do you have it up there yet?
No, this one is. Well, I'm looking at this one.
That might be the
So
apartment one.
I think this one
That's
is the
the apartment one.
apartment.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, this
I'll
is
see
the
what I got. I'll find it.
one.
Hang on.
But I know which one you're talking about, and I can see it in my head right now. I think I might have had it pulled up. Actually,
Yeah, it's not on that one. Let's see.
right here we go. I got it.
You got it?
I think I got
You can
half
even
of
probably
it.
find it online.
Well, I got half of it.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Rising from the Ashes had it. She said first thing listed, knife.
I know I got this half
There
of
it
it.
is right there.
I just didn't get the rest of it. It didn't come
Yeah,
up all the
there
way.
it is.
So I can find it while we're.
Well, when this first came about, then that document was released. I was on the T-Rev show, and I'm like, go to that document.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, this is insane. And he's like, why? I said, because if you look at all those items, the one telling item, the number
Can you
one
zoom in
item.
a little bit?
What's that?
I was asking Tanya if she could zoom in.
Let me see. Hey, let me zoom in a little bit, but oh, yep, there we go.
There you go. Perfect.
So,
Sorry,
out of all those items, I don't know how many were listed. I know on that page it's 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only page. I don't remember. It's been a while.
I think of this one. This one's the only one. The other one was the 130 some or 130 some items they took, or 140 some.
So here's what's unusual here. So there's another knife on there. It's a Smith & Wesson knife.
Yep.
Where is that one at? Blah, blah, blah.
It's down. Yeah.
What number is it?
I forget.
Well, anyway.
Is it on this? Which one are you looking for?
There's a Smith & Wesson knife as well. They go into great description on pretty much everything there, even green leafy substance and green container.
Yeah, even the other knife that they mentioned that it's from Blue Ridge Knives.
Right.
That's where it
So
was from or something. Thanks for gifting a membership, Brian.
Absolutely.
But the number one item here is one knife with no description.
Right.
Now, why would you issue a search warrant, grab all these items, and the number one item be just a knife with no description?
Right.
Yeah.
Here's why. So, and I'm speculating here, but knowing what we know and all the media coverage, so if we put one K-bar knife, 9-inch K-bar knife without a sheath, what would that be telling all of us right now?
Yeah.
He's guilty as hell.
Yep.
So
we found your knife.
So by listing one knife with just a straight line with no description, that opens the door to a supplemental page which describes the knife and then it's sent to the lab.
Got it.
That supplemental page is not part of this. It'll be part of the incident report and part of the supplemental, paperwork that we aren't seeing.
Right.
So it's something for people to think about. I think it's really, really telling that they put the number one item as just a knife. What, it's not do you think it's a butter knife? Why would they tag a knife? Just a knife.
Right.
Think about
That's
that,
true.
everyone. So
This was from his
I
parents.
do I think that there's a possibility that they have the K-bar knife? What? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great possibility because this is from his parents' house. And I mean, if they had butter knives, they would say, we have 15 butter knives.
Right.
Because normally you don't only have one butter knife in your whole house. Do you know what I mean? Like, or if it
There-
was something monoculous like that.
But look at number 5, Smith & Wesson pocket knife.
Right.
Why
And
why they label it Smith & Wesson pocket knife? You know what? Because it's irrelevant.
Yeah, and the thing that I always said too is, if you committed a crime halfway across the country, and you have an opportunity to get all that stuff that may implicate you in that crime out of the state, what are you going to do? I'm going to Pennsylvania. I know where the hell I'm going to bring it. Allegedly, you know.
And
So
he's
that
probably
makes
got
sense to me.
he's probably got some areas in the woods where he's, you know, he ran through as a kid. He's probably got an area that he used to hang at. You know, he might have things buried in the woods. You know, a lot of kids do that.
I always thought he buried it for some reason.
And he
I don't know why I
could.
thought buried.
That could have been his plan all along.
Yeah.
But also, when you write a search warrant, you have to be very specific. So if you want to search a car, then you have to list that at the property. You know, you're searching the house, all contents and containers, open and closed, yada yada yada. If there's a small building out back, you have to list that. Any structures, 4x8 building, northwest corner of the property.
Right.
You can't just can't issue a search warrant for the house and then go outside the curtilage of the home and start searching. You have to be very specific today on search warrants.
Well, that's why Don Daniels or their name, that had to get the search warrant for the shed outside of Kohlberger's.
Exactly.
She had to call in and get that. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, she called in and the judge signed it over the phone. And I'm like, we're in 2023.
Yeah.
If I was a judge, you don't show up to my front door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no way a judge wouldn't sign it, but
Exactly.
But, if they didn't get it signed and they went into it, then it's tainted. You can't, you wouldn't be able to use it because it's
exactly.
not part
Even if that knife was
right.
shining bright like a diamond in there, you know, it would be all unmissable. So yeah, I think that they were doing the right thing. It was just crazy when I heard someone say that. I was like, oh my Lord.
Well, people will look at it and go, well, that's redundant. Why do they list this and that? And, we have defense attorneys. That's what they're going to look for.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up because I think that a lot of people are missing this, and it's just really weird to me. And it could be nothing, but I wouldn't personally do a search warrant and I wouldn't just pick up a knife and tag it as evidence.
Right.
What am I there looking for? I'm looking for a knife.
Yeah.
I'm looking
if you
for
think
a
about it, they only took 19 items out of his room. That had to be specific items, because a lot of people were like, oh, they took black clothes. Well, every guy wears black clothes. And I'm like, yeah, but if you look at it, they only took black clothes. They didn't take his white clothes or his dark purple clothes or his dark gray clothes. Maybe there was something on those black clothes that were beneficial to them.
Well, that's what we have a witness that said he was dressed in black. So,
yeah.
And you have number 16 is black face mask, not one, plural. So black gloves, one black hat, one black mask. So, I mean, those are all things that a defense is going to pick apart. I mean, there's nothing illegal about having a black mask or, black clothes. There's nothing, but it's, circumstantial evidence can be used. And, if you have a witness saying that they saw him wearing, a black Dickies pants and black Dickies, what appeared to be black Dickies outfit, and they sees black Dickies clothes, that's part of evidence.
Yeah.
That's why I always said about the knife, like, You're listing that as number one. There's a
Right.
specific reason why you're listing that, and you're taking it into evidence.
Why? You know,
Yeah.
it's bothered
Right.
me
Right.
since I've seen it, and no one talks about it.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about it on T-Rev show, and it still didn't get much levity. So for me, I'm just I'm bothered by it. You know,
It's the big curiosity.
I just think but I know why they would do that.
So Rising was asking you a question. She said she's curious about the ID cards.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you
I
think
was
on
about
that,
to.
John?
Yeah, I would love to hear what you think about that because it's been said so many different ways.
Well,
Like,
what is the
10 ID
latest on that?
cards?
What is the latest on it? Because I've heard so many different stories that I don't even know what to believe on
Well,
the ID
apparently
cards.
some of the students, apparently it was licenses of supposed victims. I mean,
I heard from Dateline. I think that like the Dateline might have been the last one that said anything about it, and they said that it was connected to the house, but it wasn't one of the victims' IDs. But it's like on the search warrant, it says either 10 IDs or it says ID cards. I think it says 10 cards, but I think it says ID cards.
But it doesn't go into specifics on them.
It doesn't. Nope. It just says ID cards and found inside of a glove, inside of a box.
Right.
Like, don't know what that's about. And then I was listening to Jennifer Coffendorfer over on T Rev's channel, and she referred to it as 10. She referred to it as 10 ID cards, but that's not what it says. It either says 10 or ID cards. Like, it's like not both. Maybe I can bring that one up. But I think that they're not going to be related to the victims, but maybe somebody that was in the house. Because that's what they're saying, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would pick it up.
It could be many things. And let's not forget that he worked at a university and people drop their IDs all the time. So they could be university IDs that he's just, you know, maybe he's a pervert. I don't know. You know, maybe he's out holding on to these because he's infatuated with you know, someone. Yeah. I don't know. We could kick that around all night long.
But Rising makes a good point. She says where they found them, it just seems sinister to me.
It does seem, you know, you put them in a glove,
inside of a box.
Okay, so you put them in a glove, you put them in a box with a K-bar knife. You bring it with you. Well, you bring it with you back to Pennsylvania.
Allegedly.
You know.
Oh,
right.
So, yeah, it's right here. If I can, it's like too much blown up. Oops. I was trying to see, like, so you could read it. See, it says number 35.
Right.
It says ID cards inside glove, inside box. That's what I see.
Yeah, it's ID cards.
Yeah, but the other day on Jennifer Coffendorfer said, and this just hit me. I was like, wait a minute. She said that wrong because she said 10 ID cards. No, so she's using both of them, but it's either 10 or it was ID cards. Because me and Vincent,
10 cards.
We deciphered this.
Yeah.
This was like a puzzle because like this black box Samsung thing, that's just the box. Like the thing that's up here, the solid state drive goes to this like Samsung box. I don't know how to explain it because I'm not the techie person. It's in my notes. I could bring it up because Vincent decoded like all the techie part because he's an IT and I'm like, I don't know what this stuff means. And then I went through all the clothing because I was like, oh, I know what that says. Like I'm a boutique owner, so I'm like, I can, black jeans, black.
Right.
Because the guy that started writing this, he was doing real good in the beginning, like 1 through 19, and his hand was getting tired, and that's what it was. And you couldn't even read it after a certain point. It was like, what is he even saying?
I have it translated into like regular computer text somewhere.
Me too. Yeah, I have it like in my binder over here beside me because we went through all of them because it was just so many.
Well,
and you couldn't read them.
If you look at it, ID is both I and D are uppercase, correct? That's how you would write ID.
Exactly.
So the fraud and forfeiture guy in me that had to do a lot of handwriting analysis when I was in fraud and forfeiture would start scanning that document and looking for other like letters. So if you go down to number 40 and you see weed, And then you look at the end, how isn't that weed? I think it's a weed. No, what
Number
is that?
40,
Yeah, what does it say?
black box,
Sam,
Samsung.
name SS 9 what? I don't know. That looks like almost an uppercase D right there. And if you look up the ID, they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I think
looking
it's
at
SSD card.
SSD card.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So
D card.
I mean that looks like ID cards to me.
Yeah.
On 35.
That's what it looks like to me.
But it doesn't. Why doesn't it say how many ID cards? So
Well, why don't we just call him and ask him?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that.
I could understand, why someone would think it says 10 cards inside glove,
right?
Inside box, but what kind of cards? Just very vague. I don't know. They could have picked somebody with a little bit better handwriting.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse the further you go down.
Oh,
like
yeah,
there's like 100, like 140 or something items,
like,
something like that. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my Lord.
Typically, you'd want a lady doing this because ladies have much better handwriting.
Except for this lady, not me. My handwriting would look like this guy.
This actually looks a lot like my handwriting. I can't even read my own handwriting half the time. So
I used to have to write thank you cards when I worked in the watch industry. We used to have to write thank you cards. I used to always laugh and say, these people probably get these cards and it's like, what serial killer from prison is writing me?
Right?
It's so bad. It's just so bad.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought I'm glad we hit that because it's something people need to kind of think about because I'm just not. It's bothered me ever since I've seen it, and then what's bothered me is no one's talking about it.
Yeah,
that's what's really bothered me. You want to talk about. We are right now, but you want to really talk about something that's weird about this case and the lack of evidence. Why one knife?
Right.
Why?
That's true. Yeah.
What are we looking? What are we looking for, people? What are we all looking for? What's the main
knife.
thing we're looking for?
The knife.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's the knife. I'm just saying
But
that's
it couldn't
awful.
possibly be the knife though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Can you? No, wait. Could you imagine that? The state is its opening statement, and all of a sudden they're like, he took this K-bar knife. I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You would hear me fall out of my chair.
Bombshell.
I'd be like, what?
So, but you know what we don't have that the defense has is she's got the supplemental report.
Right.
So she may well, if that's the knife, she knows that there's a knife. So there's people I've read some of the comments and I read them all the time and I read them last night and it's just like, we don't have enough to convict. Well, okay. Do you really think that's all? That PCA was only to get him extradited back to Idaho.
100%.
No prosecutor's going to take a case they can't win, and they're not going to take a DP case they can't win.
Well, they're not going to announce that they're going to move forward with the DP.
Yeah.
You know what? Ann Taylor asked for that. She deserved that because of her response.
Yeah.
So that was a touche moment right there.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bitch.
It was like, you have something to say about the octillion DNA,
Right.
and you're gonna do that on the weekend, and
Yeah, and we loved what you did because you just you motivated me a little more to say, yeah, we're gonna kill your client.
It doesn't matter. She's like, it doesn't matter about the car that you were frivolously chasing around or the knife sheath, and I always call it like the chicken and the egg. Whatever came first, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The chicken or the egg.
Right.
yeah, she's just grasping.
Yeah, and then that was
She's doing
that
her
was
job,
pretty impressive. That was impressive.
No, you can't. You can't. So you hear me always say, don't hate the player, hate the game. She's a player in this game and she's doing her job. But and I'll go to my grave knowing that I'm telling you, we will never see it and we'll never hear about it. But she was spanked for that, and that's why she was backstroking in the hearing. And she kept claiming, oh, we're not trying to imply or suggest that the state's holding back on evidence. We don't believe that. Really? It's like I said last night. Who's going to read that response and not opine that she was absolutely 100,000% suggesting that the state was holding back evidence?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot read that and think
Right.
any different, because that's what
Yeah.
that entire document was about.
And it's in reality, they couldn't really give anything they don't have yet.
Right. And it's like again, I'll repeat it because maybe some of your listeners weren't on the show last night, but we have so much evidence that is not even been discussed, not even been leaked out, which I think is amazing. To me, that shows much integrity. For all the agencies that have been involved in this to not leak anything out is amazing to me. Because people pay good money for that, and there are reporters that have connections with officers, and they'll pay them.
I think they were doing that in the beginning.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that going on in the beginning.
Right.
And once the gag got tightened up, everybody's like, "Whoa, I'm not going to be doing this stuff anymore."
Right.
And
what did I hear when I came on the show? There's autopsy photos from this case.
No,
not from this one, from another one. A little boy.
They got leaked.
Okay. Yeah, that's horrible. And we have a creator that posted those.
Yes,
behind a paywall.
Behind their paywall.
Made people
Patreon.
pay for them. Yeah.
That's pretty disgusting.
It's
even gross that people would even pay to look at that.
I think I don't even know it's worse. Is it like, you know what I mean? Like,
is
it's
this
a child
person still allowed on YouTube?
Yeah, as of right now.
But they took
they didn't because they didn't. Yeah, they took their Patreon down though, so that's something for now.
Yeah.
At least something's happening with this, I mean.
Is this somebody that we know?
Do you know Zav Girl? I'll say her name.
No, I don't.
The whole internet said her name by now. The ironic thing is, I kind of came into this platform. I came in during the Kylie Rodney case, but I was a YouTube creator, but I wasn't in true crime. I was in trauma, not with a T, not D, trauma, and like dealing with like injuries and stuff. And so I had seen a live that she was on one night, and she was like red in the face trying to explain something to her chat, and it was during Kylie Rodney case, and I don't know, I was like, I wanted to say something about it. Had a mouth on me, I guess. And I was like, someone needs to give that girl a vacation. And I genuinely thought that, because I thought she was a nice person at the time, and she looked like she just was really trying to get this person in a chat to understand her. And sometimes you just, it was like a troll. You just kind of have to let them go. And so that was like my first true crime-ish kind of coming into the platform. Wasn't even a true crime video, but it was about a creator. It was like a video short. And then I see on my For You page the other day, there's a creator called Deets on the Streets. There's a few creators that will call out bad creators, and and stuff like this. And all of these people rallied together, and I was like, what's going on? And so today I was looking into it, and I was like, holy cannoli. She's selling pictures of Gannon Stauch's autopsy. This little boy was shot, stabbed, burnt, beat. He was stuffed in a suitcase, and he was on a Florida highway for 2 months. So you can only imagine the autopsy photos. So
I want to look at that. You know what I mean?
And it's an 11-year-old kid. Yeah. And his stepmom was convicted of this. She was convicted. She tried to complete insanity by having dissociative identity disorder. She didn't win. I mean, we all watched it. And this Zav girl didn't cover the case. It's not so it's not like this woman covered this case and was, because she does 8-hour lives. She used to. It wasn't like she was pulling those with this case. She just came back to the platform after like 6 months all of a sudden. And this is what she came back with pretty much. With some like bullcrap stuff about Letitia Stauch. But it's like, she's already been convicted. Leave her, let her rot. She should be rotting right now. Gannon's in, because I'm sorry, but I'm a Gannon strong supporter for that little boy. And I was like, why are we still talking about her? We shouldn't give her a platform to even have her voice. Like, Letitia needs to go to jail. So then all of a sudden these photos are being leaked. And I'm like, now she got autopsy photos, and she put them behind a $3 paywall.
That's gross.
And and she's asking people to pay for these pictures. And then it finally got taken down today. There were so many big creators covering this. So many.
Isn't
Like
that
they're
just
disgusted. Even
it's just
Grizzly said
yeah,
something on her Twitter.
it's just pathetic.
Like there's
Just
just some
It
stuff you
just,
just
you know
don't
what it does?
do.
what
It
is
shows
wrong with people?
it shows the lack of judgment. That's the problem.
Morals.
Well,
Morals
it's like
and
you
lack
saw
of
me
judgment.
post earlier. Greed,
Yeah.
Yep.
greed will take humanity away from people. They're no longer human when it comes
Yep.
to greed,
It's
and
crazy.
it's disgusting to me that to even hear something like that. It's
And then
disgusting to me to hear the victim bashing too.
and then she played the victim on her community tab today. She was like, all these people are coming after me. And I was like, oh no,
yeah.
you did not.
Duh.
Yeah, you might as well just disappear. Why even
Exactly.
respond to something like that?
Yeah, exactly, Marlene. She said, I know I saw that the case is over, move on, let Gannon rest in peace. Exactly. Like,
Right.
and there's so many people that are still talking about it. I'm like, just let that little boy rest,
Yeah.
Like, don't talk about her because she's loving that crap. She's loving the attention she's getting. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people unsubscribe from her. And I think that that's a good thing because a lot of people usually don't. They normally,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then a couple of days will go by or a month will go by and then it'll be business as usual. And then new people won't realize what she did. And the other people, they may forget or something. I don't think they'll forget this, but like it's like almost like gets skipped over, like with a lot of creators, it'll happen.
Yeah, it's
And
like everybody's got short memories. It's like there's another creator that swore up and down Chris Watts was innocent.
yep.
I mean, it was absolutely disgusting to listen to the things she said. But people forgot about it now. Now she's hating on this case, and making up stuff, and everybody's riding her coattails. It's pretty disgusting to me. But hey,
Michelle asked if Zav had a lot of subs. She has 91,000. She almost has a play button. And I'm like, what? Like YouTube is about to give this girl a play button. Like that's what's the crazy thing. 91,000 subscribers.
And and the thing is that these platforms, YouTube's going to get worse now because they just lowered the standards to get monetized.
They did, I know.
So before, like when Tanya and I, had to do it, we had to get 1,000 people before we got monetized, and then we had to have 4,000 hours of watch time.
And watch hours are hard.
Yeah, but the way
if you're not doing
the way you do
lives.
it is you just do live streams.
I didn't know that. I didn't do lives then to get my watch hours. I did all pre-recorded.
Now you're going to get
it was hard.
What I call more of these fringe channels that are going to pop up and start doing all this crap.
I've been seeing it already. It's like people will just be streaming. They'll be like at their house drinking and drugging and doing all this weird stuff. I'm like, where am I at on YouTube right now? Because that's like on my For You page. I'm like, I don't watch this. But that's what YouTube wants. And it's like, well, you only need 500 subscribers now, half the watch time hours, and they're all live streaming to get those watch time hours in. And who, I guess, doesn't want to see a train wreck?
You got one. She'll pull up documents and just start thumbing through the documents and breathe and thumbing through the documents and going some more.
I know.
Breathing.
I said,
and then she'll go.
Right.
I said if I didn't want to be prepared for my show, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But it goes to the point you just made. She's just burning up airtime to get clipped. But anyway,
we're not going to solve all the world's problems in one night.
No, we're not.
Not going to happen. So did anything other than what you talked about earlier? I mean, nothing new dropped?
No, nothing real big. Just have to wait till the 24th, see if he gives us that alibi. And
That's gonna be
then
interesting.
people were talking about just like his height and stuff today. Like that's what I was seeing stuff about.
Well, his dad's pretty tall. His dad's a big
Yeah.
His dad looks like he's a good 6'5" at least.
And if you're thinking about it, what's that step? If he's down in that step, he may look shorter than what he actually is right there. If you're not up on that step compared to if you're down on that step in Bethany's or Miss Dylan's doorway, because there's that that weird step right there. She could have maybe if she did say 5'10" or taller, and let's say he's 6'3".
Wasn't
but
it?
That's 5'10" or taller.
Yeah, at least 5'10" she said, or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, people have twisted that to say that she said he was 5'10".
Yeah, no, it said 5. I think it said 5'10" or taller. Yeah, at least 5'10".
So if she's about 5'10", you got somebody walking by, he's at least my height. you know, if not taller. But people have taken that out of context too.
I have a picture. Hang on, I'm gonna get it, and if you can pull my screen up, I'm gonna show you. He looks tall.
He does look tall. He looks tall compared to the
He's
guy
tall.
from PA, the muscle
He's
guy.
a big dude.
Well, look at him when he walks in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He towers over everybody, but you know what?
But he's broad.
You
I
talking
think
about?
that's what it is too. His shoulders are broad.
You talking about his dad, or are you talking about him?
Him.
Yeah, his dad very broad shouldered too. When you saw him walk into the courthouse with that Australian whatever hat on, trying to hide. Yeah, he's a big man.
Yeah, he is.
Here, Tanya, I'm gonna share my screen if you want to pull this up.
Okay.
I should share it with you.
When BK
Oh, and yeah, you can, Brian. I saw your thing in the back chat. That's fine. Yeah, of course.
When BK walks in the courtroom, I don't know if y'all noticed it. He was slumped.
See, he's tall. See, he's legs.
Posture.
He's tall.
Wonder how tall he is.
I'd say he's at
got to
least
be over 6 feet.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 6. He could be 6'5".
My brother's 6'4", but I'm just trying to think.
He's all legs. He's legs.
Right.
Yeah, but he doesn't have much of a torso. I mean,
He's skinny, but his shoulders are broad. I mean,
his shoulders are very broad.
He's a strong guy. Look at his legs; those are big. His legs are thick.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Barry used to carry around a hell of a lot more weight too.
He's got a big foot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does kind of have big feet, doesn't he?
Where's this picture from?
So this was, I'm trying to find the video, but this is an orientation video that was on the DeSales Academy, but I tried scrubbing through them and I couldn't find it. But it's a clip, and someone screen grabbed these and threw it in there. It's an old video. It's from like 10 years ago or 8 years ago or something. But I grabbed these and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
To me, he looks a lot different there.
He looks a lot bigger.
Yeah. He looks bigger, and like his face just looks a little different.
Well, it could have been when he was
younger too.
Doing his fitness. He was running and hitting the head bag and doing some. I don't know.
Maybe
If
it's that jawbone we can see so much now. It's so prevalent when he's in court.
I think I have a fan in your chat.
You do. I just saw that.
Yeah, why's your face keep getting red, Brian?
Because he's got some fans in the chat tonight. They're gonna ask me if he's married. Does he have kids? He has a nice smile. Show a pic of Ryan. She's making me blush.
Bow wow. Bow wow, chicken bow wow.
Oh, that's
boy.
so cute.
It's getting late, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We made a love connection in the chat one night, and they ended up leaving, and they went to another chat together. And I was texting Summer, and I'm like, blah 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 is over in this chat, and they're looking so cute right now.
That's hilarious.
And then we teased them when they came back for the next live. Of course.
That's funny. That's great.
Yeah, we're going on 3 hours.
Yeah.
Surprised everyone in the chat hasn't fallen asleep yet.
What are you up to right now, Tanya?
Like subscriber?
Yeah.
Let's see. We are at 9717. Getting up there.
All right. So anybody out there that hasn't subscribed,
right?
Click that subscribe button.
Yep.
Yeah, I have videos coming out all week too, so I think that we'll probably be there by end of the week or maybe next week. I don't know. Good. Usually when I give myself a goal, we pass it, and I'm like, how did we do that? Sometimes I'm like, how did we do that? Because I'll sometimes they're drastically higher, but I love it. Steve's a Bryan fan. I love that.
All right. Thank you,
Steve's one of our main. He's
cool,
you are our main guy, Steve.
Appreciate
Harley said Steve really. Harley Reiner. You be nice. They're being crazy.
But I'm gonna be cutting some videos up too. I think cut that stream down that we did the other night and some mini clips, and I'll get all that posted up soon.
Oh yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
And you're going live tomorrow, you said?
I'm going to go to a live stream at noon tomorrow. I'm going to start the Grant Amato trial. We're going to do the trial because we just did the interrogation. So we're going to go through that. And then tomorrow night at 8:30, I'll be doing the lady, that teen in Mexico that I can't pronounce her last name. Is it Alexi?
Oh, Alexi Trevino?
Trevino.
Right? I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah,
she was the one that discarded her baby in the hospital.
That's a very sad case.
It's a
Did
touchy
you see
case.
the autopsy report came out today about the baby?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
touchy, and but I think
Asphyxiated? Was it asphyxiation?
Yeah.
yeah
Uh-huh. By
needs to
like
be
plastic. Like it was like confirmed that
but
yeah.
we'll go over it, and I know it's
Yeah, because I don't know a whole lot about it. I'd like to see it too.
extremely touchy, but we'll go over it. I know it's going to be a sensitive subject, but it's the reality of these are things that go on, and we need to bring awareness to this, and we need to stop these type of situations. So
Ivy said, "Well,
Well,
I
you
can't go to
know,
Brian's channel. I was banned by Nightbot." When she
really,
came in, yeah, remember last night? That's when I told you your Nightbot. I was like, "Turn it off!" I was like, "I got
I'm sorry.
Ivy." No, I told her when she came in today. I was like, "Ivy," I was like, "I meant to tell you in the chat last night. We didn't mean to time you out." She came right back. She's
Oh,
like,
okay,
"What y'all
okay.
doing to me?" She knew we really. If they're over here, they know like we wouldn't do that on purpose. They probably were
Yeah,
like, "Uh-oh, Tanya gave him the Nightbot codes," because that's what it did to mine. Like the first night I used Nightbot, it timed everybody out.
everybody
And
out.
I had a huge chat going and I
I'm like,
was
what the
freaking out. I was
frick,
all by
man?
myself. I was like, what do I do? I don't know what's going on. And I didn't know how to turn it off. I was like, how do I turn this thing off?
Yeah, you
We
just
just kept
part.
telling people to come back.
Yeah, you just part the channel, and it takes it out. So yeah,
well, I've got a couple of cases. I've got a case very similar to that one that is absolutely heart-wrenching too, that happened to me when I was a rookie cop back in, I guess it's probably 1989, if I remember right, 90. And I was doing we have a business called Bella Plaza. It's just a small mall. It's got a Publix in it and stuff like that. And at night when you're working midnight shift, you don't have anything else to do but do business checks, and you're supposed to call and log them in. You're looking for pry marks on doors, people ordering around back of businesses, things like that. And I was driving around, and I was actually driving the paddy wagon at the time because we would have to rotate on who drove the paddy wagon. So I'm driving the paddy wagon, and I'm shining the buildings, and I kept hearing this faint cry. It was just a very faint, like this, like that, like muffled. So I'm kind of going crazy, and I'm shining my light, and there's like an alcove behind there, and there's multiple dumpsters, and then on the other side behind the shopping center are apartment buildings, and there's a high school right there, and they're kind of low income apartment buildings, and so anyway, I get out, I'm on foot, and I'm looking for it, and I'm rummaging, walking around the dumpsters, and wrapped in clear plastic and all bloody and with fire ants all over it was a newborn baby.
oh
Oh my gosh. Did you guys hear about the cops finding that newborn baby recently? It was in plastic. We played it on the channel. No, I don't know if I did. I
Oh,
thought
the
I
one
did,
that
but
was
I
in the
don't.
dumpster. Yeah, that was in the
Yeah,
dumpster too. Yeah.
and they saved the baby's life, and I couldn't believe I saw it on the TV,
They
and I
got her
couldn't
on
believe I watched
video.
it.
They got her on video.
Oh yeah, I think they ended up. Yeah, they did, because I just
Yeah.
remember seeing that one clip where he ripped the bag open and the baby's like crying, and the officer looks like he's gonna cry.
wow,
He's like,
She
"It's okay, it's okay," and I'm just
she
like,
threw
"Oh
it like
my
it was a
God."
sack of potatoes.
Yeah, like and there's places you can drop those babies off.
yeah, and they
Well,
There's
don't question
places.
anything, and
this case I was telling you about was, it turned out to be a 14-year-old girl, and it was just she was. People may hate me for saying this, but we got to have some grace when it comes to these young teenage girls that are absolutely, they're scared to death. They don't know what to do, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all in it's all in how they were raised, and kids make mistakes. Now I don't know this girl from Italy, and I don't know the circumstances, but I'm not saying any of it's right. Don't get me wrong, but you're talking about somebody that's alone and has nobody to turn to and scared. Probably, I mean, they have these reality shows where these girls are pregnant and they say they don't know, and they go to the hospital with pain and they have a baby.
Yeah.
right.
That's reality. That does happen. So I don't know. That's a hard case to cover. But bottom line, the part that I watched and was the hospital, I think you know, the hospital is gonna pay for that one, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying, you know, you've got a girl that you kind of just let jump up and run into the bathroom, and she's obviously somebody should have noticed she was in labor. I mean, she's obviously in labor. The pictures they show of her cheering, and you guys can cover that later, but I felt bad for the whole situation.
It's
It was
terrible. It's
very
awful.
sad.
Awful.
Very sad. And the mother was an absolute bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. The mom,
She was
there
a
was a
bitch.
very big disconnect there.
Yeah. She
was like,
would've-
I
They didn't
didn't
even
pretty much
ask.
like I didn't do it.
She didn't ask once about the baby.
Uh-uh.
No.
They didn't even ask once about the baby. I mean,
No.
it's a terrible
Yeah.
case. It literally took me a little bit to go, do I really want to do this one? But it's, you know, we need to know about these situations. You know, we need to know. So
A
But
paddy
for the
wagon is
state-
like a big van, right? For prisoners?
Yep.
Like a truck almost, like it almost to be like a
Old school
truck
term.
with a big thing on the back of it. Someone was asking.
paddy wagon. Yeah, paddy wagon is when you'll see just a regular box van. It's converted into, it's a transport vehicle.
Yeah. Ivy said her boyfriend wouldn't answer her and he's laughing at her.
Yeah.
I said, that's not unusual. We'll answer your question. That's funny.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what a paddy wagon is.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down for the night. It's been
good stream.
3 hours, 17 minutes. Yeah, I can hear the dog. The dog's at the door. She's a Weimaraner, so she has like long pointy nose, and she'll poke it at the door when she's like, it's time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, I can hear her. It's so
I
funny.
think we're
She
all
doesn't
getting a little
understand.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, guys. Well,
thank you.
Have
Thank
a great,
you guys
great
for
night.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, you're
I really,
welcome.
really
Anytime.
do. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, you guys all have a good evening as well. I will go ahead and put you guys. Are you guys getting off of here, or you guys want to? Or you want me to put you backstage or anything?
Hey, you know what?
Is that what I
do
usually
like
do
an
with you?
outro. I don't want to jump off.
Yeah.
And do your little outro, and I'll hang until you go off, and then I'll bounce out when we go off the air.
And I
Okay.
would, if it's okay with you, I would like to try, because I just set up, my system, and I would like to try to see if it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then I'll just hang up. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and log on. Well, actually, you know what? No, I can't, because I don't want to go back in and look for live stream or streamline and all that crap. I'm tired.
I
We'll
can
do it
help
another
you.
time.
Yeah,
We'll
I
do
can
it.
help you, John.
We'll do it another
Okay.
time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. Thanks,
Well, you
guys.
got-
Good
yeah.
night.
Good night. Have a good night, guys. All right. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. I'm going to go ahead and remove you guys. Put you back there. All right. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me this evening. I do appreciate it so much. I will be back on tomorrow sometime. We're going to do a members only live tomorrow. So make sure you guys are all here for that. And I'll show you the video that I was going to show you tonight of all the usual suspects. I'll show you guys that tomorrow. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.